Out to try and...
That runner is countered. He was supposed to be Chrono.
Yeah, straight on the edge. Makaz needs a backup from DP and Timbersaw, but it's still a difficult target to bring down. The Avalanche looks good, but Ace still going to fall. Now Makaz moves on the Tiny. Tofu in trouble. And Game Gladiator is going to cut their losses. Try and get Quinn out of danger. Cancel TPs down to bottom. And move away from here, but Whisper wants to keep on diving. You'll Scepter up, C-Smart catches. Whisper held down by the Death Troll Pit, and they'll dive behind this tier 2 tower. Yeah, smoke breaks, Panda knows. Spot the Tiny in the trees. Plant him up. Catch him out. EG bring Mage Slayer is next from Ace. He's dived under his tier 1. Matthew spotted him. Timbersaw on top of the edge, but the Nature's Attendant, tons of heal, and there's the Sproink, the Rainbow Impetus shot, launching out onto Matthew, nearly killing Ricky, but he gets off the tricks of the trade, while C-Smile in behind this tier 1. Diving Ace, the Chrono comes, Tofu and Ace both caught inside, and Whisper with a chakra will finish it off yet another kill. Tofu down, and C-Smile is unstoppable. No Exo.
Smoke, no Chrono, no Exo.
We're going to play forward, sleep up the Batrider, but Matthew's the one to get blown up by Zoraccio. Does have to use the Enrage to get behind his tower. Quinn wants back in though. C-Smile
saved. That's big.
The false promise. Affects Void could get caught off through the control. Matthew going to start things off with a sleeping dart though. Straight onto Quinn and forcing his BKB early on. Half health for Batrider while C-Smile. Avalanche for now, holding his BKB in the Yules, now has to use it, but the Ursa's damage substantial against the DP, and EG are the ones who have to run. Pretty nice against all these spellcasters. Trying to catch out Whisper top lane. Lasso is there, and the down from Zoraccio trying to kill him off, but a Timber Chain and the arrival of C-Smile slows things down. Wanted to chase Zoraccio, and Whisper getting some revenge, but Game Gladiators, they are all here. Avalanche toss, Whisper about to die. The Vault Promise is there, and Panda keeps him alive. A killing spree for him as they dive in. C-Smile falls, but Zoraccio dead.
Oh, look at this damage from
Impetus sprites them all to death.
Have another one.
Rage is scanning off to the right, that turns red as well, so everybody knows the direction the opponents are coming from. Ricky starts with a sleeping dart, the jump in from Picard, no Chrono yet. Tofu trying the Avalanche
so low.
Ricky being focused down as Zoraccio and Quinn straight onto him. Tofu and Matthew trading lives, and Quinn just trying to chase up here, but C-Smart keeping them at bay while Zoraccio trapped in between 3 of EG, down to half health. They've got the bit of save and a buying time from the Yules.
Avalanche.
KB looking to jump back in, the Avalanche again, but there's a false promise from the Oracle. Aegis already claimed up as Zoraccio blinking back to his side of the map, and the 2-man Chrono there, catching both supports. Quinn and Ace still on the outskirts though, doing an awful lot of damage here, and Picard is struggling to stick on a target. Celery with the Spirit Siphons, trying to roleplay as Boxy, but can't quite get the job done. And now Ace trapped in place. Quinn and Zoraccio on this high ground, not able to rejoin the fight. EG will come out victorious.
Finished on Whisper, so double chakram.
Poor Panda. False promise. Not going to help him out too much here. Drag back into the flames of Quinn. EG looking to press into this enemy ancient spot where they do have high ground vision. Straight up Chrono, catch Rubik and the edge. They need the damage onto Ace as quickly as possible, and Whisper will provide that. Blow up the Enchantress. She gets off a Sproink. The next attendant's not going to heal her while Zoraccio jumps on the Picard. BKB and full promise required to buy the time he needs. Time walks a little bit off, and now the Ursa kind of stuck here. Lift up, drag back, not saving you from Whisper's reinitiation. Very attentive EG, focusing the targets they need, and diving this tier 2 for the Rubik kill. The cherry on top.
Shard upgrade. Didn't even use the oh my god, he has a Force Staff and Ogre Seal Totem as well, with the shard plus time walk.
So much mobility.
The gap. They caught him.
Yeah, lassoed up, but the Yules make sure that the Ursa can't do the damage, and Picard saved by his team, allowed to Chrono this Ursa. Now Ench arriving, and a stolen one. There's the Rubik coming in clutch. Everyone from EG stuck inside. Zoraccio still dies. Timber Chain across, looking for Tofu now. Matthew trying to jump back in onto this Enchantress, but the lift to save. Celery keeps them at bay, allows Ace to keep doing damage while C-Smile and Whisper chasing this Enchantress. Get the pesky Fawn out of here. Catch a glimpse of the Oracle, find out where Panda's playing. Matthew back to the high ground as Twin BKBs and moves up the ramp. Focusing for Cars. He's got Time Walk off to the right. The Chrono looks like a good one. They've killed Panda off though. Oracle is down, so no safety net. Duracho getting blown up though. Has to buy back Chrono. Chrono. Two of them trapped inside from EG, but Duracho is about to die here. Quinn has already fallen, had to buy back himself. Whisper moving in. Celery stealing the timber chain. See Smile nearly dead. The Hurricane Pipe pushes him back, and Ace blows up the Death Prophet now. Hakaz getting tossed around near the Roach Pit, controlled up by the Lip. Have they got the damage to finish him off? He time walks off to the left and Whisper is back in again. Chakram missing, the full staff out of Tofu, getting the distance he needs, and the stolen Chakram, Celery chucks it back at the Timber Saw. They saw Matthews taking this outpost. They've got the vision through the gem of Quinn, and plenty of damage to bring the Ricky down. The Yule Scepter on 20 HP, just delaying the inevitable, buying time. No way he survives here. Surely no way he survives here, right? He's got Blink Strike, but nothing to blink to. Down the end ball in the mid lane, Whisper getting gone on by Tofu and Duracho. EG, they know that multiple members of Gaming Gladiators pretty distant away.
I'm always sad that you can't break Tiny. It would be so funny if it just shrinks. Double Missile, Lotus Orb.
That's it back. Tofu's in though with the Avalanche toss.
EG's alone here.
Is bringing 4 members to kill off Whisper. C-Smile gonna go for the BKB TP. Duracho trying to close the gap to Tofu and Ace here.
Thinking about it.
Goes straight for the Chrono. Exo as well. They really want to kill Ace here. Gaming Gladiators rallying around the Enchantress. He's got off the BKB and the Attendants. Enchantress with some more strikes can actually play a way out of this one. Tofu going to survive. Dragged away from Pakaz. And now they've moved back in onto the Faceless Void. He's going to try and time walk it off thanks to the False Promise. But now Panda, the target of choice for Tofu and Celery, has the Fate's Edict on him, so protected against the magic damage, while Pakaz and Smile chasing Quinn now. The Bat Rider gets turned on. This fight is dragging out forever as another Chrono from Pakaz. Straight onto the Tiny and Ursa. Edge left up, so the damage is lacking. And EG, they've done it now. Holding their high ground, coming out to play into the southern jungle and finding the Enchantress. A Yule from Matthew finds a bonus target. Celery's Rubik trying to flicker away, but doesn't get any distance. So Whisper. The additional bonus from the Halberd on ranged heroes.
Enchantress getting very close to her level 25.
Blink initiation. Ursa gets lifted and forced out away. Ace gets the attendants out, points back, but Picard just keeps on chasing. Chrono's up the Enchantress now, looking to blow up Ace. There is buyback available, and of course Ace in the hands of the Ursa still. DP caught inside that Chrono along with Whisper, unable to keep giving chase. Trying to blink and timber chain across. Might be able to get a catch with the side device. What is that? Is that flamethrower stolen by Rubik? Gets up to the high ground, away we head. Lots of expenditure here from EG. Chrono, Exo, still wanting to find more, but look, Lasso, Bat Rider.
That's another one.
Goes for the double Lasso on the Faceless Void as Celery annihilated by Matthew and the Timbersaw in the back line. Comes with a double damage rune as well, and he walks straight into the middle of them. Lincoln's popped. He does get Scythe. Ursa on him, the backup there from the Oracle. False Promise and the big Chrono. Bat Rider caught up in it. Quinn being battered into the ground. Dead for 2 minutes. Ace might be found as well, but they're going to go for the back line. Rubik being destroyed by Picard's Faceless Void. Time walks back in, looks for Ace, reverses it, rewinds, backs away. As Tofu splits the fight, multiple directions. Picard and Whisper find Duracho under the smoke screen, can't do anything, caught up and killed.
They're constantly disarm both of the cores of Gaming Gladiators.
They can't
cannot
do
deal
anything.
damage.
Duracho finally gets to open up onto a target, and he slept. He's hexed. Control for days on end. There's no end in sight, just being blown up and controlled everywhere. Duracho gets tossed across to the Oracle, but Panda, even has to disarm his own, gets the base unit out, and the damage is down. Whisper with a double kill. Well, Ace has
by Bat Rider. This can't be correct. Like that's one stick in a palm, and then maybe like some Firefly damage, and EG's wanna close this one out. There are no buybacks available. This is game, Gary.
Yeah, looks like it. They'll try and glyph. Maybe Ace can sproik his way to a base defense, but it looks like EG have got this one in the bag now. A very close fought game one, very tight battles, and it looked like Gaming Gladiators using their windows to perfection, but EG with these Chronospheres, the late game protection of the False Promise out of Oracle, and the itemization, hexing, darting, halberding, so much annoyance that Eng can't do a damn thing. She spends half the game in the sky.
Disarmed again.
Disarmed damage more, and GG is cold. EG take game one.
they disarmed the Enchantress back on Io, there's gonna be a lot of sustain, and this they want this first blood, they want ace.
We go in on them with a rebound, catching profit, damage from the TA, and first blood grabbed by Pakas. Come towards the top room spot and find a DD, Tofu faster with the fingers as Whisper has just solo killed Duraccio.
Oh no, I was watching this top rune.
And Matthew, yeah, fighting with Panda and C-Smile. Now he lands a stun, catches Tusk unaware.
What a disastrous spot. Like, I'm not sure why you're even stuck
Whisper?
there.
Tofu on his own couldn't do too much. Maybe with Quinn arriving now. Out down the tag team, plenty of damage. Disposed though, stops Quinn's movement forward. This is all while Pakas continues to get free farm and even goes for the solo kill. Ace close to death and he gets finished off. C-Smile taking large camp stacks. Might get jumped on here with a snowball, but the swashbuckle misses. Walrus finds the shards, gets them the kill. Now EG wanting to answer the aggression. Onslaught and trample, finding Tofu. Tusk is pulverized.
13 and a half minutes into the game.
Can be nasty. Whisper. He's in a 1v2 situation, going straight for Celery. Let's see if he can... no tether available for him. EG starting to swarm. 3 heroes heading down to that bottom jungle. Matthew is alone for now, and that Wrath of Nature. Every 2 minutes he's got a new item. Dragonlance, Deso, Blink. Rebound in from Matthew. Drag back Tofu. So his Blink will be a little delayed now as they go for yet another objective. Even trying to collapse on the enemy Ancient's high ground, looking for Celery. Finds his target. Ace. There we go with a stun connecting. Matthew's in. Control the Prophet. Got the trample damage. Snowball will delay the death of the Tusk here. Take a little while longer for them to kill him off, but eventually he will fall.
He wants to be able to pick that one up, get a shard, most likely as his next item. Troll getting caught.
Yeah, they've got the snowball saved. Let's see if EG can control the Troll, but handing, what, 300 gold over to the Io, in fact. That's Quinn. Trying to shield crash his way out of this. Whisper will still have the pulverizer. Melt strike, there it is. One hit kill. They come in with a Troll, Celery, tethered up to Duraccio, focusing onto Matthew, killing off the Marcy, while Panda and Whisper holding the line. Pakas wanting to run away from this, doesn't want to battle into Demon Gladiators anymore. Thinks about it though, jumps forward and kills the Troll. Waited and bided his time. Looks for Tofu now, a few more swipes out of this Deso. TA is going to find multiple kills. A mega kill for him so far, and he wants to go high ground for a double.
Your towers are going to die. Where's the follow-up?
It's not coming, is it? C-Smile with Whisper. They're on top of this Io, pulverizing Celery, looking to finish him off, and they'll get the job done. And now Quinn, he's got one shield crash, but the damage from Pakas is just
not enough.
So big.
Sitting on 1,400 gold, level 17.
And they're going aggressive in the bottom jungle.
Aggressive mid. He's going to solo kill him.
Tofu dying in the mid lane, straight up to Pakas, gets a wicked 6 streak with Matthew in this bottom jungle, found by Duraccio and Celery. Now in comes Whisper though, looking for the control on Duraccio with C-Smile chasing forward. Rock throw is there, connects on one of the heroes. Quinn gets stunned, and the split earth comes. C-Smile turned on, Illusion Rune popped, and he's got that protection into the ethereal form thanks to his Ghost Scepter.
He's running out in 7 seconds.
And now the battle trans with the roll thunder connecting. They're going to find C-Smile here, kill off the ledge, and get
time it correctly.
Going to find Pakas. Aegis is gone. He's got BKB though. No mana to play with. They need Whisper to protect the Templar Assassin as quickly as they can. But the root is there, and Duraccio with a double kill. Demon Gladiators. They are destroying EG in this bottom jungle. And
like I was watching him. He did kill Tofu. Oh, they're still not done.
They want Whisper out. Come back here. Primal Beast, where you going? Matthew jumps off to the left. He's going to get finished off by the spirits and the hits from Ace, while the punch from Tofu gives him the old left-right.
That 1 gold. C-Smile needs to be careful. Ghost Scepter will keep him alive for a while.
Yeah, very careful against this Troll. He wants Celery real bad. Forces the mech early on. Whisper coming back in with a rock throw missing, sadly. Duraccio, 7 seconds for battle trans and no BKB, so he'll die.
She is a ranged hero. This Lord is going to scout out Quinn.
Hello there, Pango. Global silence for him as well.
He knows. They will have to get it somewhere, so Gleipnir going to help out tremendously. C-Smile going for a solo.
Tofu has the snowball. Blink on cooldown for a couple of seconds, and that damage spilling onto it, make sure there is no jump away. Whisper in the meanwhile, aiming bottom lane, connects the onslaught onto the Troll, and walks it back. Looks like Quinn knows what's up. Let's back to his own ancients, connects onto Matthew. Rolling Thunder, trying to get into the back lines as well. Whisper being found with a walrus punch there. The global to give the coverage and a force staff away.
Miss uphill.
Gets Whisper away from danger, and you're right, Quinn surviving on 100 HP. Now Ace the one in trouble though. The blink forward, the meld, the damage. Ace with the TP home survives while Quinn will die. Troll and Iron still sticking around. The shard blocking in Picard. Does he have the protection for his team that is supposed to buy him a bit of space and time? Picard's in the sprout now. Whisper comes across the trample. He's battering into Duratio, pulverizing the IO, and it looks like Gaming Gladiator's going to get blasted out of this triangle. Relocate into Whisper.
My favorite snack, IO coming back.
Who's getting the kill?
Of this thing go even harder. AC that you mentioned coming out shortly. Needs a bit more time.
Oh, Quinn. Hello. Whisper's found him. I guess the trap gave a little bit of vision, so he throws the rocks at him. Dangerous territory for them to be walking up high ground.
Oh my god, almost gets one shot.
Oh god! He's not gonna die just yet, though. I don't know how much HP he left. Well, that was close. C-Small has a two-man splitter. In comes the snowball save. Tofu rolling forward onto the ledge. But now the pulverize blows up the tusk. Duratio battling forward up to Marcy. Celery's dead and Picard's cleaning up. A couple of swift kills for him. And the double buyback from them Gladiators. They need to get on top of these core heroes, but they're struggling. With the tether, the trolls on the primal beast, but a slide away with a full snap, and in comes Picard again. So much raw damage, a double kill for C-Smile. Celery's going to relocate out of there.
That's two buybacks out of the map.
Smoke again.
They might catch him, let's see.
There's the jump. Forward punch into the control, gets off his BKB though, and Whisper, he's back in, looking for Durat.
Your barracks are gone. You're going to be playing against Mega Creeps. 50 seconds without Nature's Prophet. No buyback on him, and Celery will call him.
That's it, it's over. GG comes.
Duratio didn't even type anything, just like space or something. Oh, it's on my screen, it doesn't say.
That's a GG over here. And the same thing in the lobby as well, when they were asking the players to get ready.
Oh.
It's Cleaver Talk.
Foxy will be playing Snapfire, and Zai. One gush, one curse. Should be the kill.
Yeah, Battery Assault is there. Schofield's able to wrap around on him. Now he absolutely has to know that ward is there. Still gonna lose.
They might de-ward it.
To make that additional lane. Schofield though. On top of Vincere again, Battery Assault and Gush is an awful amount of damage here, and Crystal Maiden just can't.
And then Clockwork with boots, one Gush.
There's the kill.
Silence.
Stinger gets it. Down the bottom again. Tusk and Snapfire on top of K1. A snowball comes and he'll get the kill on the position one. Nothing Stinger could do there to help his buddy. Might be dying himself, in fact.
Dark Mago got 2 CS in the last minute and a half. Very difficult.
Move again.
That's a move again.
Cookie into Scatter Blast. Boxy even going across to get the bounty rune down bottom. Even more gold flowing into Team Liquid, while Schofield nearly dead top. Zai does get the pick off on K1 bottom.
2 times. The one who has a lot of farm, like decent amount of farm, is Tidehunter with the Ring of Health. Ember Spirit's supposed to be that one guy. Never mind, holding that thought.
Yeah.
DM.
It's a kill on Insania again, potentially. Under tower, Schofield goes.
This is like a guaranteed kill. He needs to have an HP, however. Brought the heal himself. Mid lane.
Nisha trying to protect it, gets it off to the right-hand side. Turns into
Resummons it.
Resummons, comes in, looks for the root. Dark Margo slipping away from danger, barely with his life. They'll move on to the Clockwork instead. Nisha, 1v2 situation, finding a kill, trades out. They'll bring in a hero mid to bottle refill. Blightstone and the Gloves of Haste, in fact. Zai finding the pick off on Stinger, who, stuck around in that bottom lane. Not where he wants to be, while K1 has evacuated the area. Nisha getting gone on. Remnant forward, and the Battery Assault
There's Ravage.
Turned on, they've got the Ravage onto Nisha. Insania coming in, but can't save his life. Okay, wanting the trade out here, and there are no remnants left for the Ember Spirit. So even though they lose the Lone Druid, it's still a decent defense of that mid lane, and Ravage on cooldown means a big window for Liquid to exploit. They chase out Sacred with a cookie. Lacking a bit of damage here. Mickey didn't follow through on this, so a turnaround on Insania should find him thanks to Stinger's Silencer.
Wrath of Nature.
A couple of sneaky wards, we saw
Sacred
that.
bottom.
You alright?
Not really.
He's dead. The dive in mid. Nisha gets off the true form though. The bear is back up, a remnant away. Sleight of fist and safety for Dark Margo. Schofield, still level 4. The cookie on the bear puts him in place and holds him there with a root.
He did manage to recover. Bought Hand of Midas, classic K1 move, snowball mid. Zai.
Yeah, punch out Dark Margo.
Yes, given up Mask of Madness, I'm not really competent to talk about the item build.
And they've caught out K1 though. And again, they're situated one because Zai is lurking in the shadows, coming in from the river. Spots out Schofield, tag team punch, and the kiss is launched down by Boxy. Clears out the clockwork.
Underneath the ward.
Shots. Not gonna play out as intended.
No cookie.
And there's the hook shot, but Schofield needs to keep on chasing with the cover of the global. It's a little difficult still. And Liquid bringing numbers down here. The Ravage clips the Razor on the very edge. Boxy ready to depart, but they've got sustain and they're also tanky. Dark Margo being punched skywards. Does he have safety remnants? He's just being chased down. He's on 1 HP. Dark Margo so close to death, but nobody to close the gap on him. No cogs up. The Zai Tusk finish him off while Dark Margo survives. Snowball buys all the time in the world for Zai as the gush and the Arcane Curse will be just enough to finish him off. Stinger now being dived by the Nisha Bear and Mickey's Razor. Will claim a lot of that farm on the opposing side of the map while Dark Margo is making Liquid play for it. Stinger nearly blown up by Zai immediately, just the 1v1 there. Will kill him off in the end, claim up the spree while the freezing field from Insania. Kiss is launched in and Dark Margo is
no remnants left.
Mickey has the link on him while Zai and Insania fighting down south. And his fight is spread 3 different ways, but Liquid.
So much physical damage.
Like Stinger, he's gonna die. Caught up by the Razor.
Charge. There we go.
Easy as you like. Well, Dark Margo has TP'd in here. 1 remnant at his disposal. Sacred trying to back him up. All they need is a slow from the plaza field, a route to catch him.
So slow.
He's incredibly slow. Remnants leftwards. Nisha chasing forwards. K1 gonna hold the line while Insania and Zai looking for Schofield, who doesn't catch a hook shot onto anything. Can't maneuver himself away from the top jungle. So Zai just patiently biding his time, waiting for the cogs to wear out. Finish him off with a frostbite and a punch.
Now that's a BKB. Dark Margo getting in, has haste run.
Catches the chains on Zai. Gush in with Sacred. Facing this Tusk, he's pretty damn tanky and he BKB's up. The Ravage is wasted, completely whipped by Sacred. Dark Margo, chain disabled. Global might give him a bit of safety here. He's speedy on the Ember Spirit while Sacred's gone in far too deep. Surrounded by 4 members of Liquid. The Bear is back again. And Mickey hunting the Ember on the left-hand side while Sacred pops his greaves. He wants anything he can. Dark Margo's dead to Mickey and Sacred pummeled into the ground. Not really required here. Feels like East Coast are playing into the hands of Liquid. Schofield, Savage Roared, and Nisha open. No, we were wondering.
Schofield, he's looking for an angle. Let's see if someone decides to block it. Okay. Your carry is blocking Clockwork from getting in.
Well, he's the position too, right? Nisha's the real carry in this team, in this game. Schofield trying to cogs and Ember buying the token for himself.
You want to look good on the end game screen.
First BKB defensive, and the Walrus Punch pierces it. Straight forward they go, Liquid.
And then 1 punch from Tusk. Good one-shot people.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Margo, 70% of it.
They were so ready for this.
The Remnant, they absolutely were heroes in the first minute of the game when you're able to outplay every lane, hit your item timings, take down a tier 2, and move forward onto Stinger. Straight into the base. Zai looking for the solo kill. Stinger down to low ground. Sacred, he's popped the greaves already. And Nisha sprinting forward with his bear. The kisses are there. Savage Roar and Zai. Incredibly small now for Beast Coast. Yes, you've got a Nature's Prophet who can kind of spread his wings and split push lanes. It's incredibly scary to do so. Sacred might have overstepped here. Good force down to get away from the shards. The snowballs deep from Zai. Forced to BKB. But with a Walrus Punch and the chase from...
With the snowball and just trying to buy time. But good blaster usage to keep this lone druid away.
Foxy maybe stuck around bottom a little too long. Yeah, successfully so, away from Mickey, while in that right-hand jungle, Schofield. He's turned back onto Zai with the help of Stinger, shotting and cogging and finding another kill.
Dark Margo. Their catch is pretty limited.
Unless they wait at a Remnant with the entanglement. Liquid, they're trying to find K1 up at top. He's already put himself back in the fountain. While Foxy catch up to Schofield. Zai tracks back.
TP. Misclick.
Slight misclick there, but they've got the snowball. Bit of global strat they've got with the Prophet and the Ember Spirit. Stinger though. Oh, jumps away from the bear. Kisses onto the Ghost after good magic damage and an optimistic TP. Yeah, once we start getting levels up on this Natus Prophet with the Sprout Talons, things can get real spooky. Schofield went to try and de-ward, but Zion and Boxy were there, ready and waiting for him. The creeps. Looks like he'll still be able to get in on top of Stinger, though. Go set to protect, just pushing bottom wave. I don't see anything. And then Zai, on top of the Prophet, holding the punch this time, like you said, waiting, biding his time. He can put up himself now. K1 stands his ground.
Now.
Decent amount of physical damage with the global stars to cover.
Can't get close.
Trying to stop Darmago. They've got the root on him and the Ember Spirit's dying.
Play for area.
Ogre Seal Totem onto Sacred, has the tendrils of the deep. Even Mickey has played for a little bit. He's going to drain all this damage away from the tide. This isn't coming. I didn't think Sacred would die here, but it looks like Mickey and Boxy have enough damage to bring him down, and the dive continues. Mickey just keeps on going. Stinger has to go Scepter. Now Mickey with his BKB inside the Sprout will Dark Margo in the mid lane. BKB's up, the Remnant left and right, jumps and dives. One more hit will do the trick, but Boxy can't see it.
I also didn't expect Titan to die. Very nice kisses coming out from Boxy.
Yeah, really well done. What do you reckon? He's got Silver Edge queued up. What comes after that?
Silver Daedalus.
Yeah, potentially. Schofield. Zai having a fight around the Sprout. Kisses cancelled out by the global silence of Stinger. Mickey just keeps on charging forward. BKB wins off the lone druid, sends Bear in, but the Ravages are good. Sacred connects on the two cores. The tendrils there as well. Beautifully played. Mickey, those seal turn him out of it. K1 dead to Mickey's range. Schofield follows him 6 feet under. Dark Mago trying to battle Insania, but the freezing field just keeps on going. The Wolves, they howl. Oh, and kill them off. Liquid dive, the tier 3s and 4s, and Beast Coast have got no chance left. Kick back, send them in, Stinger down, a 5-man wipe, and Liquid have got it. As quickly as that, the game will end. GG's called, and Beast Coast tap out.
We were slightly worried when Beast Coast opened up with the Natus Prophet Ember. He goes jungle, he recovers, someone else soaks up the X.
What is it, 17-2 against 17-1? Yes, very good. Zai going to chase K1 up top. What's Boxy got? Both his spells are available. Telekinesis and Fade Bolt, zap down the Troll, lift him up and drag him back to the Broodmother. And a few more hits here. Should be able to secure them the kill, even with the insatiable hunger.
And his mid laner is doing stuff for him. He needs to be active because
Insania demolishing them in this lane. Kick back under the tier 2. A tower hit will land, but the decay is there. Gets the kill. Might survive as well. Sacred, the lightning storm, the split earth, not going to come. Mickey is very slow.
Should be able to TP out if he misuses the rolling boulder. Never mind, just gonna drop here.
And just standing and fighting, deciding it's more worth his time. Think about rotating up top. Help out Boxy, so consider these TPs down to the bottom lane as well, though. Ooh, they're going in on this Troll, level 5 still. And a level 7 Broodmother. Plenty of damage. Continue that spree. Down the bottom, they do go for the dive. Nisha's here with the Rolling Thunder, and the TP out from Mickey successful. Sacred's first death of the game looks like it will shortly be incoming as the perfect connections from Nisha launch them forward for a kill on the Veno while Mars Arena catching Insania. Dark Margo struggling to contend with the Soul Rip and Decays. The roll is cancelled. Schofield in trouble now. Swashbuckle forward and Nisha looking for this bonus kill. The kick not enough for a double for Nisha. Can he finish off Dark Margo as well?
Here comes K1, level 5 Troll ganking. Hell yeah.
In, but Dark Margo's about to die. Nisha basically 1v3, 1v2 now. Courier falls. Pango Swashbuckle ready for second, and you're right, the regen rune is ready. Stinger almost dying immediately. Wasn't expecting the high ground made, and the Fairy Fire regen rune trying to buy some more time, getting away from danger. The spear not landing, but they...
Arcane Reservoir.
Does he have a point held for Battle Trance? It doesn't look like it. So K1 getting chased down by the Pango and the Undying. He's just dead.
That Nisha used with Arcane Rune, and now they want to hunt more.
Yeah, Stinger.
Crystal Noah. We'll get a solo kill here.
10 minutes of farming before he's really to show how impactful he can be. That's a good.
Oh my god, this damage, the poke from distance.
Being stolen, the poison is there onto Insania and Boxy. But Nisha with his rolling thunder.
Team back.
Well, they played against Darkside. They won. But it wasn't... I mean, you saw Darkside play today, and they dropped the game to them. The other games were like 43 minutes long. Actually, quite interesting that the first game was 43 minutes and 40 seconds, and the last game of the series was 43 minutes and 41 seconds. So pretty much, you know, similar timings. Though Navi hasn't looked like super great. So I'm scared for them today. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I'm a big fan of Shigetsu, I think he has been the top carry of Division 2 for a very long time, finally has his shot in Division 1. This game, this series, it's not going to be easy. Betboom are known for crushing the underdogs. That's just how they play.
Yeah, and especially how they underperformed. Let's, you know, to say it nicely, underperformed in the major. You know, a lot of people expecting them to be in one of the top 3 teams. You know, like I know I was expecting to finish it in, like, you know, the top 2 or 3 teams as well. And they didn't really live up to expectations, but I think it was TORONTOTOKYO, right after they got knocked out, came out and said, the team's going to stick together, you know, there's going to be no changes, we want to see this through. From all accounts, they are friends behind the scenes as well, so it wasn't just a team being thrown together, you know, it was a team of people that wanted to play together, and they could be out to, well, maybe get a little bit of revenge here, maybe work out some of the frustrations from the major after, you know, having that break, get themselves back into the competitive mindset. So yeah, Na'Vi might have a little bit of a struggle on their hands coming into this series. And Betboom already, you can see they picked up the Shadow Demon. They've got that Lash there as well. Banning out the Brood, the Io goes, the Death Prophet, as well as the Dragon Knight, Rubik, and the Beastmaster here from Na'Vi. So a good couple of heroes to start off with. But yeah, Betboom coming into this one as the favorites.
Overall, I think Betboom also said in one of the interviews that they regret not playing the third-party tournaments, mainly the Christmas show and the Comic Zone. That they probably need that as a team. They need to be in a competitive environment, in a tournament environment more than rather than a league environment, which is what we are seeing during the DPC. And I agree with that one. New team, they need experience. Even though, you know, you have a TI winner on your side, it's not a guy who won TI 5 years ago. He won it 2 years ago. So he is still, every single one of these players is relatively new to the scene. Even though Nightfall, I remember him playing Dota at like 2016, 2017, but he was a pub star, right? Maybe 2018, maybe I've gone a little bit too far back. He was a pub star. He wasn't really in too many of those, let's say, tier 2, tier 3 teams. So he kind of, all of these players, most of them only have tier 1 experience because they just got so good so fast, right? So you need some time to get into the little intricacies of how a team actually works on lands and stuff like that. So yeah, they need some time, and I think the high expectations in the early stages, they're gonna hurt them. But if they push through, this team could become a big problem on the international scene as we go forward.
Yeah, and you've got to think this time around as well, there is the separation between Division 1 and Division 2. So they absolutely, you know, storm through Division 1, and then they've just got to kind of sit on the hands for 3 weeks while they wait for the major to start, you know. So that cooldown period, it might take some more. And like you say, if they do start to play in those 30-party tournaments as well, between Division 1 and the major kicking off, then they might keep themselves in a competitive shape.
10 seconds remaining.
And yeah, you've got to, you were saying about how they are fairly new to the scene. You've got to think as well how Save, I think it was VP, he was benched for a year under contract with VP, so he, no competitive first-hand experience there as well. So there are, even though these are a strong group of players, I think they're one of the highest MMR teams in any of the divisions. There is still some rustiness to shake off, maybe some competitive shape that they need to be working towards, getting themselves to, even though they did look really good in the Eastern European League in Tour 1, you hit that, when you hit the majors, you're hitting the best of the best of the best, and that's what it is. So yeah, they do have a little bit of growth, I think, still to go through, and hopefully Tour 2, coming into that second major, they can live up to the expectations coming into that second major.
I'm hoping they can, and they've got an interesting pick here on their hands right off the bat, the Less Shadow Demon. So these are the two heroes that can actually kill anyone on the map, and that is kind of goes well with what they've always tried to do, right? We are gonna go around the map, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna crush you, we're gonna outplay you, and eventually we're gonna win. And Lesh, he gets that one kill and he also pushes down the tower. So I like their approach. But then again, these two heroes up against the Rubik. Rubik loves all of the spells of the Lesh, all of the spells of the Shadow. Of course, you don't like the Diabolic Edict, but even then, even that one you can use for pushing. So we'll see how well Na'Vi can utilize this Rubik in particular to counter these two.
Yeah, and we've already seen the Rubik Beastmaster combination as well in the last series. It did work quite effectively. it's a nice
10
little
seconds
offlane to have. It
remaining.
means as well when the Rubik starts to rotate. You know, we've seen last
5
series again, the
seconds
telekinesis
remaining.
incredibly effective, being able to set up for the mid lane, just being able to set up the ganks. And Betboom have to be a little bit aware of this, especially as the Lash more than likely going to be that mid lane hero. Doesn't have any escape tools. You know, it's not a Storm Spirit that hits 6 is going to have the ball lightning. Doesn't really go for any 4 staffs. It's not a Tusk in the mid lane that can snowball, throw those shards up for protection. Lesh, if he does get caught out of position, incredibly vulnerable. So I'd expect Betboom, you know, to be all about in this early game. Either quick rotations in from the Shadow Demon for saves, or
5
looking to get the
seconds
ward protection down here, Betboom, and make sure that Lesh, you know, GPK in the mid lane has as good a game as he can.
Well, they do have 2 protective heroes, so either way is gonna be okay. One thing that comes to mind is that Pure can also play a Lesh. If
true.
you remember his time in Entity, he did do it quite a lot and was very successful with it, especially during the TI qualifiers. To me, they looked like they were gonna crush everyone. So there is still a potential for that one, and I think that flexibility here between him and GPK is actually quite nice. GPK is also quite capable of winning game Nightfall as well, and that is a big strength of this team, that you have 3 cores that can play anything, that can enable their guys to be
5
successful. But on the other hand, if they themselves get farmed, they can win the game.
Yeah, how do you like the... What's it going to be? Going to be the Weaver. So Na'Vi looking for some early aggression with this Weaver, you know, being able to take fights quickly. Just a couple of items, but the Morph comes out from Betboom immediately. I do like the Morph answer back into the Weaver. Especially, you've talked about it, especially when you're up against Agi carries. This Morphling gets that Aghanim's Scepter online, and all of a sudden, it's a nightmare to fight into. But how do you like the Ogre pick coming out from Na'Vi? That is something a little bit different that we don't see all too often.
Well, they're going a lot
5
into attack
seconds
speed here. That is what this is saying to me. So they want Weaver, a hero that early on is very powerful, to continue to scale with the Beastmaster and the Ogre Magi, and actually be very powerful in the later portions of the game. To me, it looks like they want to utilize vision and the ability to go in and crush someone and get out. That's how they want. They want long, drawn-out fights where they separate the enemies and they pick them off one by one by having better vision. They don't want a concentrated fight around the Lash, around the Tombstone. So that is kind of how I'm looking at it. And Shigetsu, if you remember, Eastern European DPC Division 2 Tour 1 previous year, not this one. So a year ago, Shigetsu would first pick Weaver all the time, even though in the previous DPC or in the previous season, Tour 1 in the Winter Tour, this year the Weaver for him, I would think he was 0 and 2. He didn't do too well, and then he just skipped it. This is still one of his favorite heroes, so I'm kind of curious to see how well he'll do with it, and also curious to see which kind of build he's gonna go for. Here Maelstrom kind of feels pretty good because he's gonna have so much attack speed.
Yeah, do you expect Na'Vi as well with the Lash coming out? You know, they look like you say, they want that attack speed. They want, to me, they want to get aggressive. They want to take some early fights. Would you expect the Tusk here in the mid lane for them as well? Because there's a little bit of a separation in the school of thought between the builds, but I'm seeing the Blink accepting, you know, for that kickback, that separation being starting to become a lot more popular than like the Deso build for the Tusk. So would you expect here maybe that, and we know how well the Tusk does in the mid lane as well up against the Lash, so is that a hero that you might see Na'Vi leaning towards for this last pick of this?
I mean, they could, but people have been staying away from the Tusk ever since the nerfs, so I'm thinking not. I think magical damage is what they need. Yeah, they're gonna go for a Storm. You want magical damage, and the Storm goes well with the plan of let's separate the fight and pick off people one by one on different sides of it. Catch of Betboom is very limited, so right now you have to deal with all of those problems with Nightfall's heroes. It would be cool if you get something like a Sand King would come to mind as a good one, though against the Ogre Magi it's always kind of risky.
What about the Doom? Because I think that's been one of Nightfall's in the last tour. I think it was one of his more popular picks. He was playing, even got a couple of games on the Legion Commander as well. But I think for the most part, the Doom was Nightfall's go-to hero.
You may now select your heroes.
Okay, we're gonna see an offlane Abaddon. That's actually quite cool. I'm curious to see if he's gonna go for a Radiance himself. We did see a carry Abaddon in Eastern Europe here. work out well. In Western Europe, it lost, I think. So, you know, sometimes this hero wins, sometimes it loses. It is another hero that's going to be making sure that the Lesh stays alive. This is actually quite cool. We have two completely different concepts. On one side, Navi, they want to spread out the fight. And on the other hand, Betboom, they just want the fight to be concentrated onto the Lesh and the Morphling because they do an overwhelming amount of damage. So it's going to be very cool to see how they approach this. This Navi lineup is so good, but it is harder to execute, and you're playing a harder to execute lineup against a better team. So good luck to them. But I think they do have, because these are all comfort heroes. Mellojul, he loves the Storm. Shigetsu, he loves the Weaver. Malik on the Beastmaster also. So I think they do have the comfort picks. So with that also the knowledge to execute this properly. But then again, Betboom, they are gonna be forcing out those concentrated fights into areas. So I'm kind of scared for Navi, but I'm looking forward to see if they can pull this off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. You know, like I said, I think they're going to try and fight, 15-20 minutes. They want to try and get aggressive before Morph hits that like massive power spike. And but the Abaddon, like you say, Nightfall in the last tour, he looked so good in the offlane. A lot of people, including myself, saying coming into the tour, Collapse was still like the best offlaner in the region. But Nightfall, I think he had one of the best kill death assist ratios in the entire. Not even in the entire region, but in the entire 6 regions coming into that DPC tour. So Nightfall,
I think the best. I think the best easily. Yeah. I think the best easily. He was like 260 kills and 30 deaths or something along that. I don't know. It was just dumb how good he was in that regard.
Yeah. So coming into this is just another hero you have to deal with, and we'll see how they're going to deal with it in game number 1. But first, guys, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsors over at EGB, so check it out.
Prepare for battle.
So welcome back as we get ourselves into the first game of the second series, and it is going to be GPK going mid on that Lesh. So how does the Storm Spirit play around this? Because I mean, in the early we've seen already in that last series, the Storm Spirit being shut down by some good rotations. So what does mellojul have to do in this lane up against the Lesh to get the advantage coming into this mid lane matchup?
He's not gonna get a big advantage, but I just hope that the Storm will focus a little bit more on farming rather than rotating. It would be a mistake in this game if you would go for early rotations, even if it would mean you kill a Morphling, if you kill a Morphling and get a tower, sure, but if it's just for a kill or something along those lines, then no. So I'm expecting mellojul to put more points in the static remnant, make sure that maybe he has some stacks, and with that get super strong, because you need the Storm to be strong from like minutes 10-12 to be able to go in the backlines and kill the supports. Because if you don't have the mana to go into the backlines, you're not killing the Abaddon, you're going to be very weak on the Storm. So you need to make sure that you do not overextend in this game as mellojul.
Okay, and what are you expecting as well? Because you were talking about Nightfall. What are you expecting here for the Abaddon? Is it still going to be the Radiance build even in the offlane, or do you expect Nightfall to go for something that's going to offer a little bit more protection and not be as aggressive here for Betboom?
Well, we're seeing that he already wants to build into a Meteor Hammer, so it's more about being able to push down towers. And considering that you do have a Shadow Demon, there's no reason not to. So early on, these two are going to be a big problem.
Okay. Well, Malady's going to be coming right up against it here now as well. Like you said, the disruption comes out for the interrupt, and Malady's going to be caught by the split earth there as well, level 1. So not the biggest area of effect, but it does still catch on to Malady. So he's going to be taking some punishment from this as the runes just start to be split. But yeah, some early aggression, you may be forced out some regen from the Ogre as GPK. You can already see him getting the body blocks onto those creeps, so trying to get whatever he can. But the Storm Spirit on the other side, looking at the map, you can see him just wiggling about, looking for the blocks of his own. So let's see who's going to get the... Actually, looks like it's going to be GPK. Yeah, it's going to be closer to just on that high ground here. So mellojul having to come in a little bit closer to get the Ras out. And GPK looking for it. And yeah, the remnants as well. Not going to be as effective onto GPK because you can just stand at range and right click.
Yeah, I mean, Storm is gonna be taking a little bit more harassment, but overall, it's gonna be nothing big here. In the bottom lane, I really want to see how well Malady can do. One thing we didn't talk about is the Abaddon's ability to remove the ignite. So it does take away a lot of the Ogre Magi's potency in the laning phase, especially because you want to get 2 points in ignite on level 3. Well, against an Abaddon, you might want to skip on that.
Yeah, and do you, as the Abaddon, because I mean we've seen the carry builds, it comes out, you completely ignore the mist coil, you know, you just go for the Aphotic Shield, the Curse of Avernus, and if you are building towards that meaty hammer, do you just completely ignore the mist coil?
Considering you're up against the Weaver, you're gonna have the mana, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 1 point, right? At some point in this game, Nightfall is just gonna be using the Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil constantly, so I wouldn't be surprised if in this game in general he does get a couple of points in it, even early on.
Okay, and you saw the odds on the screen there as well from EGB, so they are favoring Betboom. I don't think there's any major surprises there. I don't think anyone, even though Na'Vi, they have the potential to compete and contest, you know, everyone coming into this would have said Betboom, looking at like the favorites. And starting off, especially with the Morphlin pick as well, Pure, you know, really comfortable on this hero as well, going towards that Falcon's Blade. What do you expect the build up for the Morphlin to be? Do you want to go for after the Falcon's Blade? Are you going for that Manta, or are you going straight in for an Ags? Is it, you know, do you want to get fighting early? What is it that Pure might build towards here on the Morphlin?
I think Manta Ags does make a lot of sense as a morph.
Yeah.
But overall, you might want to skip it because you have the Aphotic Shield to save you. I'm not sure. The Aghanims is going to come into play at some point in this game. It's just way too good to not go for.
So bottom lane, they do get the kill onto Malady, so that's going to be the first blood going the way of save here. And we'll see if they want to get aggressive. TORONTOTOKYO stepping up against the Beastmaster. So is he going to go for anything? He's looking for the backstab. Maybe he's going to try and drop. Tombstone comes out now as well. Pure, though, he's not got a lot of life left. If he wants to step up onto this, Danial, telekinesis now as well, the lift up, but he doesn't get a stun. Will be able to take that Tombstone down. Pure taking out a lot of damage as well from the axes as well as the Fade Bolt, so has to back himself away there. Just looking for the heal with that Tango, and yeah, couldn't really step up once that Fade Bolt does come out, because it takes away a lot of his damage in this early part of the map.
And usually you don't see the Ogre Magi dying because this hero is pretty much unkillable, but with Shadow Poison, with the slows, and with him just feeling, you know, like you can't do much in the lane, you tend to overextend. And even a guy like Malady, who is probably the best ranked support even in the world, it was top 1 at some point in Europe, you tend to make mistakes, you know, just because you feel like you can't do enough, then you try to be a bit more aggressive than you can, and you get punished for it.
Yeah, and like you say, a lot of teams, you know, maybe forgetting just how powerful the Shadow Poison is coming through from that Shadow Demon. So 2 points into that now as well. With the setup on the Disruption, it is really easy to build those stacks. And you can see that, yeah, Malady maybe just forgetting the power of the Shadow Demon coming into this game.
The Shadow Demon was played from time to time, so he should know. He should know that it can be a problem. We'll see if it does continue. We can see that he is playing a bit more conservatively, and to be honest, Shigetsu is farming well, so it's not like you feel like the lane is going terribly for you. You're doing well.
Yeah, you are doing all right here. We take a look at the top lane as well. How's Pure doing in terms of last? It's 15, so a little bit behind the Beastmaster, but we know that the Morphlins, the timing comes a little bit later for this hero, so even if he does get put a bit behind in the early game, excuse me, if he goes a bit behind in the early game, he's still going to have that power spike into the mid to late game, and it is going to be up to Navi to shut it down, which I can see why they wanted to attack fast bottom lane. Once again, the chase down Nightfall, taking a lot of damage here now as well. Can they turn it around? Because there's going to be the silence as well. Shadow Poison stacking up 4 points on that Shadow Poison here, 4 stacks, excuse me, and Save will be able to get another kill as the Aphotic Shield comes out here for Save. So Save from a lot of damage here, and she's going to be chased down now as well. 1 more Shadow Poison. If they get the vision, it might be enough, and Shigetsu just has to go away with a Shikuchi and look for that safety. I mean, the Shadow Poison, even 2 stacks at level 2, still going to be a decent amount of damage, but Weaver with that regen and probably more being brought in here by the Ogre.
And Malik is in trouble on the top lane, so the pressure from Betboom, it never stops, and this is what they like to do. They like to apply early pressure just with the sheer skill. They're like, we are better than you, and that's how they approach the laning stage, and it's showing here. I mean, on the network chart, they really are doing well in all of the lanes.
Yeah, all 3 cores at the minute bouncing around that top part of the net worth. You know, you see the Storm Spirit as well as that Weaver jumping back and forth above the Abaddon every so often. But yeah, like you say, Pure at the minute, he's just running this top lane. We saw that there was some aggression coming out, but it seems like he's got that confidence that he knows just how far he can push the bounds of the Morphling in this lane.
This is where the Undying kicks in. We talked about it in the previous game. If you want to pick a Morphling with the... Oh, that's a solo kill.
Mid lane, yeah, it was. He even got the Vortex onto the Lash, and he was trying to walk himself away there, mellojul, and there was a TP in from Danial, but this just means that there's going to be some gaps opening up now. Malady, he might be the next one to fall on the side of Navi. Navi not having a great time in the minute in the laning stage, and Malady being forced back, chased down, killed off, and saved. Well, the true carry of the game at the minute. Is it 3-0 and 0, I think, on the Shadow Demon? So having a really good time and going to be able to get towards those quick mana boots with the kills that he is starting to stack up.
A.K.A. also died in the mid lane to the Rubik, and after he got the kill, and to be honest, mid laners love this. They're like, the thing that I would like to happen now is for me to get a kill and then a position 4 comes and kills me, and that's exactly what happened. He's trying to apply pressure on mellojul even more now, though. We'll see. If one creep dies, that should be level 6 for the Storm.
Yeah, but I suppose even if we don't get the kill onto the Storm, get on mellojul, Disruption comes out now as well. GPK, once that split up sets up, they're going to be able to get it. Kills onto both the Rubik as well as the Storm Spirit now, but the Storm Spirit level 6. So looking for the kill onto Save. Save can get himself away from this one. The Vortex drag back now as well. mellojul, he will get the kill, but it looks like GPK coming in for the chase on. Really good ball line, and they're just the quick one, and now GPK, he's gone a little bit too far. He's overcommitted, and they should be able to get the kill onto GPK once again. Even though he's got a little bit of sustain, mellojul will get the kill. A nice double for him there in the mid lane. But it does drag both supports off the side lanes onto this mid lane, opening up the gap for Betboom just a little bit.
Overconfidence from Betboom. We saw it in the previous series, though. The ones being overconfident, though, did win in the end anyways. But you can see that Betboom are immediately trying to do something on other lanes, because they know that they forced so many rotations here. So overall, yeah, they bring the Storm back in the game, but they're applying pressure on both the bottom and the top lane.
Yeah, and Pure's going to be happy with shigetsu on the bottom lane. Save, he's just, again, 4-1 and 0. He's having an absolute riot a minute. And I think that's the gold for the mana boot. So 20 gold off. Yeah, so really nice. And you can see, yeah, the poison just stacking up and stacking up and stacking up from Save. So Save having a really good time in this early game. And, you know, no reason with the Shadow Demon's effectiveness that he can't keep it going here. Just more points into the Shadow Poison. The rotation's coming through. And he can stack up these kills.
Yeah, his damage has become insane. It's always a problem when you get a couple of stacks, but when you have 3 points in Shadow Poison, when you feel like the game is going well for you and you can get away with that kind of build, well, we see what's happening. It's just so much damage being done to Navi wherever they are, and you feel like I'm still half HP, but with 4 stacks on you, yeah, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, look at what Nightfall's got queued up. You know, maybe change his mind a little bit. I'm telling you, man, that Meteor Hammer, it is a trap.
Oh, no.
Like,
it's a trap for your enemies. Right? He has a setup for it. I would hate it. I would not hate it.
I see it working in pub games, because obviously pub games are a little bit different, but every pro game I'm watching the Meteor Hammer, you know, the win rate, it's not what you're expecting. It's like that channel tag, you spend 2 seconds channel, it's 2 seconds later on of a BKB, it's 2 seconds if you don't have the BKB where you can be caught out and stunned up. To me, unless you have like a really clear opening in the fights, you know, you got to pick off before the 5v5s kick off. To me, I'm looking at this Meteor Hammer, I'm going, it's just a trap. It's a bit of a bait, and I think teams are starting to, you know, wake up that it's not the be-all end-all of the patch.
I know, Rob, how when you start hating on an item or a hero, you're very stubborn on it. So I'm just gonna back you up on that one. Yeah, the Meteor Hammer, it just sucks. No one should buy it, and I think that's where we're gonna stop, because yeah, I mean there obviously are games where it can work, but yeah, I guess buying it on Abaddon, you probably don't want it. But we do have a rotation. GPK is coming towards the bottom lane. He's in Invis, so Navi, they are gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Shout now as well. The banishment from the disruption is going to come out into the split turf, even with the time lapse, not the borrowed time. Nightfall has that borrowed time, but GPK, Gets the kill. Shigetsu just could not get himself away from that. A really nice setup there from the side of Betboom. Just get the jump on Shigetsu. And like you say, even being confident on this hero, you know, Shigetsu, it's one of his best heroes, one of his signature heroes. Oh, he's going to jump onto Toronto-Tokyo. Toronto-Tokyo will go down, but he denies the arcane rune from the side of the Radiant. But yeah, Shigetsu, they get the kill onto Malady as well. Betboom, they have just started off on top. I was talking about Na'Vi getting aggressive here, but Betboom, they're the ones taking the game to Na'Vi.
Even with those zone extensions in the mid lane, the side lanes were still doing well. So with the first rotation to the side lane, it's always going to be successful. But this is just even better than that. You get 2 kills in the tower, and if the Shadow Demon can defend this one in the mid lane, which seems like it's going to be the case, it's overall perfect for Betboom.
Yeah, and we'll see what Na'Vi can do to back up, because Riz's going to be jumping onto Save. Save might be punished here. He's going to be caught up telekinesis, and they do get the kill. Malady, though, the one to pick that one up, and not mellojul. But I suppose at the minute, as long as you're getting those kills on the board, you know, it doesn't matter who's picking it up, and it means you are going to be able to apply this pressure to the tier 1 tower as well. Probably does go down. Not seeing any rotations, anything from the side of Betboom that signals that you want to defend this tier 1 tower.
This is very big because we talked about Na'Vi and how they want to fight its chaos, and mid lane tower makes the most chaos in the map. So I think they're going to be happy with this one and can go for multiple kills now on the supports, on the cores, whatever. Because from a mid lane, it's very easy to pick where you're going to go for a kill. And if you're fast, and with the Storm Spirit you're always going to be, you can just do it before the enemies can respond.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is going on, like you say, they've kind of dragged heroes from Betboom towards the middle of the map. You know, they are protecting, looking for objectives and trying to protect onto the Morphin. So this will open up the lane, as we see on the screen here, for the Beastmaster, just to push out. Another fortification going to be used here, but that will be the tier 1 tower fortification down, as the Beastmaster not even needed to sit in the lane. He is just moving himself towards those camps, looking to get farm up with the axes there as well. And he's going to be able to take this tier 1 towers. So Betboom, they started off great, but Na'Vi, they aren't without the impact and objectives coming into this. Speaking about impact and objective, Toronto-Tokyo, Danial gets a steal onto the tombstone, so they do have to take this one down before the zombies start to stack up on both sides, and it just means that the side of Na'Vi can back themselves away, because Betboom had an objective that they needed to deal with.
125 gold, that's nice. They go for the storm, should not be a kill. They're not even gonna attempt on the split earth.
No, you can see that Malady was coming in, so if he got the interrupt, he got the stun off, potentially with 3 heroes in this mid lane, it would be that Na'Vi, you know, could have maybe got a kill off if GPK overextended. So yeah, just backs himself away. He was mid-animation, cancelled it off, and just walked himself out here, as Malik just continues with the Hawks as well, being able to find the vision onto the Morphling, maybe sets up for a rotation from mellojul, as well as Danial to find a kill onto this Morph.
Right now, Na'Vi needs speed, right? This is the time where you need to go for kills. That Witchblade on the Storm Spirit needs to be like go, go, go time. Because there's going to be a Radiance on the Abaddon. There's going to be a Linken's on the Morphling. There is going to be a Bloodstone on the Lesh. When those 3 items come out, I don't know how you're going to get kills. Betboom are going to go from tower to tower and just force you into fights. And you're going to be in so much trouble. So you need to make sure that there's chaos around the map, that Betboom cannot get together. And they are working towards their big items. So they will soon have the tools to do just that.
Yeah, and you can see here Abaddon's, he's picked up the Sacred Relic, and I love the Lance of Pursuit that onto the Abaddon, because obviously you've got that chase down potential anyway. And I was talking about it last tour, you know, when it was first as an item shown out, that I like it on the Rickies, I like it on the Abaddons, on these heroes that do want to chase it down, and they have their own mechanics built in as well, that you are going to be showing your back to them, you know, trying to either run yourself away, or the Ricky being able to jump behind. The extra mana is great for the Aphotic Shields, and just being able to get that chase down potential. This item, okay, it doesn't have the stats that some of the neutral items have, but I still really like this item on the chase down heroes like the Abaddon.
I mean, you don't really need stats on the Abaddon because you're surviving for so long anyway. It's all about the burrow time, not about your HP.
On the top, oh, there's going to be a fight in the river now as well. Disruption comes out, but Malik, what can he do here? It looks like they might be able to get the kill. Did he get the kill on the GPK? GPK going to be healed by the sword. Keeps him alive for a little bit longer. It will still be 2 kills. Save does get the kill to Shigetsu though. Raw onto Save with the Aphotic Shield coming through. Save, can he save himself here? Save, trying to move himself up, but no, the blast comes through and Malik does get the kill. And what was stolen? Rubik, he gets the shield. So Nightfall has to back himself away from this one of Morphling. Not in this fight, so it was a 5 versus 3 to start off, as Nightfall was moving himself himself over, but Nightfall level 10, so has at least 1 point into the borrowed time. Not going to be under too much pressure with his Aphotic Shield, but does need to move himself away from these heroes.
Radiant's top
Perfect timing for
tower is
Navi, and
under
also they still had that Tombstone stolen. Now Daniel has an Aphotic Shield. Aphotic Shield allows the Rubik to follow the Storm into any kind of situation and get out alive or save his Storm Spirit. And this is going to be so big because Betboom, they still need some time. We saw with the Bloodstone almost there, but the Abaddon didn't want to be a part of the fight. So Lesh dies, and after that, the damage is just not dead. There, Betboom's lineup, they need the Morph, they need the Lesh to be able to do the damage. But if Navi separate the fight like this and can get a kill on one of those heroes before the fight even starts, then this is going to be the result. So perfect for Navi, and we'll see if they can continue.
Yeah, Daniel with a little bit of a better, well, not a better, but just the
scanning.
extra push until there as well with the Aphotic Shield. Being able to push out the waves into the Fade box. GPK, though, taking some damage from Malady. Malady coming in with the 4 points onto the Ignite. And we'll see if they want to go for rotation. It is really a smoke rotation here. Don't know if it was under vision. I don't think it was under that vision of the ward. That is just a really nice one, just to seize anyone moving into the mid lane. But 3 heroes moving around, at least Navi, they are going to be playing it defensively for the minute. Not sure where everyone is, but it just allows TORONTOTOKYO to get the wards down, maybe setting up. They might even be able to get a jump in, and Storm Spirit is close. And yeah, you can see that Malady as well as Daniel playing it close to that tier 1 tower that the Radiant do still have in the mid lane.
Now he knows. They have such good vision there on the bottom part of the map. They have 2 wards and a hawk, so they know everything that's going around there, and they're just gonna walk into the Roche pit. They understand Betboom are still not ready for a fight. They don't have the Radiance. They do have the Lincolns, but Abaddon is their main hero really for a fight. He's the one that's saving everyone, and without Radiant, he doesn't want to show because he's not really going to be contributing in terms of damage, and you want your core to do something in terms of damage. So this is a perfect timing to just kill the Ocean. Shigetsu also, we haven't talked about him for a long time, but he did go for the Maelstrom, and considering that he's going to have the buff for the Inner Beast and from the Bloodlust, there's going to be a lot of lightnings coming out.
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely stormy in this game, and you can see this game himself. He's got that Dragon Lance coming out now as well for the Weaver with the borrowed time, so that they do give mellojul over that Aegis. And at some point, I mean, the minus armor coming out, he's only got the 1 point into the Swarm, but when that Swarm starts to stack up level 3, level 4, that is going to be that attack speed that stacks up onto Shigetsu. Going to be incredibly deadly to the side of Betboom.
Yep, for sure, for sure. And also Storm Spirit, people tend to forget this hero. Most of his damage comes from right click, so him having added attack speed is great. If you remember the old Storm Spirit, when you didn't have to buy so many items for mana, people would go for a Maelstrom just because you get so many right clicks out, and with more attack speed it's going to be even more. But Betboom, they want to go for a smoke.
Oh, mellojul. I mean, mellojul does have the Aegis, but he's going to be sandwiched between 3 heroes. They have the vision, though. If you get that split up off, they do. So they're going to be able to split up at least the Aegis. But do they have this setup coming through for the second kill? mellojul, does he just get the ball lining now away? mellojul, he's going to be able to get the ball lining up, but how far does he go? Pure. Well, even looking for the waveform for the chase down here now as well. Daniel, he's got that pick pull, but the chase might carry on coming from TORONTOTOKYO. Gets on top, sees Daniel, but there is going to be 4 heroes around here. But do they want to fight in this Tombstone? It will be taken down so quickly. TORONTOTOKYO now needs to turn and run. The Swarm comes out, but they're going to go for even more. TORONTOTOKYO, a Aphotic Shield on top of him, so he will be able to walk himself away from this one. Not a lot of damage onto TORONTOTOKYO that he's not going to be able to shrug off, but still, you're not within the bounds of wanting to fight, you know, chasing and maybe get the position wrong, so Navi can take that TORONTOTOKYO Undying down and then go for even more kills.
Navi are winning, Rob, and the reason they're winning is because Betboom cannot get close to the tower and start pushing. You're up against the Beastmaster, you're up against the Weaver Storm. They can split push, they can catch, and they're forcing you to defend your towers rather than go on the offensive. These lineups, like the Betboom one, when you have high damage dealers and you have defensive heroes behind them, you need to be on the aggressive, because if you are not, you're always kind of chasing your enemies, and they're not gonna give you a fight when there's 5 of you. That's why Navi has been able to steadily get ground over and over again in this game, and even with the Aegis being taken, it doesn't matter. The tier 2 has fallen pretty early in the game.
Yeah, and what can Betboom do to get themselves back in? I mean, Abaddon's got, what's he got coming out on the courier? Because he has nothing coming out on the courier. Okay, he's just stepping up the goal. Yeah, he has an ultimate orb. Dude,
I want Samantha. There's no surprise there. You just want the illusion so that you can silence people quickly and easier.
Okay, well, Daniel on the back lines here. I'm going to be stepping in. TORONTOTOKYO comes out. TORONTOTOKYO is going to be taken down. He's just getting tombstone out now as well. Malady is going to be waiting in from Pure. Can he get the kill? He's going to be able to take down the support. And now the chase is on. Malik, can he get himself away from this one? Anything to close that gap. They have the disruption, but it looks like they're not going to be able to catch up. No force stops just yet from the side of Betboom. Now Danial, there is going to be the borrowed time coming through from Danial. Did he steal it? He did. The Rubik gets that borrowed time just as it comes through, but it's still not going to be able to keep him alive. Daniel moving himself away. And the shell poison would have been enough for him to save, even if he didn't get that right click off. And GPK, they only going to be going further and further forward now as well. Tumbler's close from Pure. They get the stun onto Malik. Malik, can he get himself onto the high ground? He does. And it looks like they might be able to go back towards that tier 1 tower. Only losing TORONTOTOKYO in that fight there. A really good one, and they just chase and chase and chase. Took down both supports, and we'll be able to get the tier 1 tower from it as well.
That was a slight mistake from Navi, and Betboom immediately read it. That's why they TP'd everyone into the mid lane. When you want a lineup that fights 5 versus 5 in a concentrated area, mid lane is your friend. When you want to fight separated left and right, you want to fight in the big jungles or in the side lanes, right? That's just how it goes, because there's so much space in the mid lane. You're kind of clumped up, and Betboom, they really, even though they lost the hero at the start of the fight, they need to
Mellojul does jump in, gets that drag back, but TORONTOTOKYO once again, the save comes out from Nightfall with the Aphotic Shield, the Ignites fly through, but we'll just be able to, again, like you said, just purge that one off, deal with that. And while this is going on, Morph, we didn't really talk about the itemization, but Morph didn't go in for the Manta, didn't go in for actually went for the Lincolns into the Dragonlance. So Pure looking for that early protection, I guess, onto the jump from the Vortex. You know, that drag back telekinesis save there as well. So just wants those single target spells to be nullified coming in if he do try and engage on the board.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for an Axe now. It is going to be interesting to see. I really like now how Betboom have been playing. The second they take down that mid lane tower, the game becomes easier for them, because they can force Navi deeper onto their own side of the map, and then they can go for other objectives, and that's why they've opened up this bottom lane so easily.
Yeah, and it is, like say about him, he's got himself that ultimate orb, and he will want to go towards that Manta style. Just to proc quicker and quicker. GPK, how is he looking on the Lesh? He's got himself the Sanjin Kaya, picking that one up. Robo comes out for the Morph as well, so not going to turn his nose up as that. And Lesh, are you expecting here GPK to go towards the BKB? Because he wants that Boots of Travel. So is it the Boots into the BKB for the extra protection? As they do get the kill into TORONTOTOKYO here on the bottom lane.
On the travels, I think you usually with a Lesh want to skip the BKB as much as you can, and considering that you have the Aphotic Shield, it kind of removes everything in this game. He might just feel like the BKB is completely unnecessary, right? Damage output of Navi, there's a ton of magical damage, but he can heal through it. If he has his guys behind him, he should be able to survive. So there's a good chance that GPK just completely skips on the BKB, unless he feels like, okay, I absolutely need it, my teammates cannot protect me. But if you get to that point as Betboom, then you probably feel like you've done a lot of things wrong before it. So you just want a fight that suits you, and then a BKB is not going to be necessary.
Yeah, I always forget the Aphotic Shield as well is a strong dispel. It's not just a dispel, it's, you know, one of the strong dispels. So one of the, you know, few things that can deal with the Primal Roar as well on that. And yeah, I mean, going back to Shigetsu as well, let's see what he's got. I mean, he's got the Maelstrom, he's got the BKB. Going towards a Skadi here for Shigetsu. So again, the extra stats are going to be nice. The regen nullifier up against GPK, just being able to limit how much he gets back from that Bloodstone will be quite nice as well. But how do you, if you're Navi now, like say Betboom of course up in terms of kills, 10 to 10 at 23 minutes. You're looking at the next objectives. Roshan is going to probably be the next big one here. You already see the Beastmaster on the bottom lane pushing out, looking for that tier 1. But Navi, how do they try and fight around these next big objectives like the Roshan?
I think that bottom lane is actually their friend. Being able to push that one out as the Beastmaster, and with Betboom sending someone there to just make sure that it's pushed out, you use your vision to get into a better position of a fight. That's it. You need to use the Beastmaster as much as possible in terms of pushing out, and in terms of seeing people with your vision.
Well, he does get that shift onto the Ogre Magic. Yeah, catches it with the waveform. Fire Blast comes through, he even gets the Bloodlust on himself. So look at the attack speed here for the Morphlin. He is just pumping out damage, and it looks like he actually wants to go towards the Butterfly and not that Aghanim Scepter as his next big item. And to be honest, he's not too far away. Just needs another, what, 300 gold, and Pure will be now hitting like an absolute truck.
I think Shigetsu needs to rethink his Scotty and go for an MKB. You're not going to be able to hit him through the Radiance and the Butterfly. You need to have a way to kill him, and also you might need better damage. Considering you have a BKB, you should feel confident enough that you're going to be surviving for longer times in a fight.
Yeah. And again, the Weaver, one of the few heroes that has that survivability built into the ultimate, obviously with the time lapse, being able to get himself not once but twice in these fights, you know, the second life effectively with that ultimate coming through. So we'll see here if he changes his mind. He's already built up one of the ultimate orbs, so maybe goes in for the Skadi, then an MKB afterwards. But smoke coming up from the side of Na'Vi, what can he do? There is a sentry down now as well, close to Shigetsu, so Shigetsu is going to be showing on the lane, taking down the creeps. He do get the courier. So it looks like Betboom starting to just group up on that Radiant high ground.
Not good for Na'Vi. Definitely not good for Na'Vi. The side lanes are pushed out completely, and this is, I think this is what Betboom were gunning for their illusions to be super strong, and they're just pushing out the side lanes, and Na'Vi, they're in the mid lane, which means what? It means that there's gonna be a big fight around the mid lane, and that benefits Betboom. That definitely benefits them if it is not a spread out fight. So Na'Vi, what they're now trying to do is kind of put out the flames by cutting the waves, and you have to do this, because if you're running into Na'Vi or you're walking through, you're gonna be in trouble. But the thing is, Betboom are already in your base, so Na'Vi will have to be the one to break the formation, to break the tactic first.
Yeah, you see the Nightfall getting the pull through on the creeps from the mid lane here as well. So the waveform comes out, and it looks like Betboom backing themselves away, just again playing around, because you were talking about compact areas to fight around. So having that Radiant triangle to fight around, it is still a really nice place to fight in. And it looks like Betboom with the smoke. Do they smoke around into the I mean, Roche is 30 seconds away. So if they take a fight here, that is a really big opening here for the side of Betboom.
With the move towards top, what they accomplished in the end, because Na'Vi didn't really take the bait all that hard, is that they took down all of the vision. So Na'Vi has to go for this smoke, because right now, if you would just run into enemy vision, walk in there, you're gonna get crushed.
Yeah, and Weaver, how's he doing? He's still gonna be about over 1,000 gold away here from having that Skadi up. It is a big item timer that you want coming into this next fight. But yeah, Roche will be respawning now. The big man is back in his cave, and we'll see the TORONTOTOKYO going to be scouting it out. But is there going to be that Hawk vision to come across as well from the Beastmaster? Might even see that Shadow Poison as well. I think we see the effects here. So Malik on the back lines will be moving across here. Does he have that jump potential in? Seems the disruption to start off this fight now as well. To get the lockdown onto the Rubik. The Rubik, he's going to be killed off. Shigetsu wants to chase, but there's going to be the waveform coming in now as well. And Malady, just look at Pure how quickly he rips through that Ogre Magi, and they can carry him going for more. Shigetsu trying to do what he can on the back lines. The buyback comes out from that Rubik, but even still, it looks like the Betboom just go right back into that Roche pit. Shigetsu, does he want to try and chase into this? Or is Sentry's down? He's going to be jumping some stones for it, but he doesn't get the Aegis. He is going to go the way of Pure, and now Shigetsu with that BKB's in, and there's going to be the walking around, but disruption, it keeps GPK alive for a little bit longer. What can he do? Can he get a kill onto him? And it looks like he might just eventually be able to get a kill, and mellojul just clean up, but Danial, he's going to go down to Pure, and that is going to be the dieback there from the Rubik. And can they get any more? No, there's going to be the TPs away, but it's still going to be well, it was a 2-for-1 because the Rubik goes down twice. Even Mali going down there as well. He bought back.
The thing is, both of the teams were prepared for this fight. But Betboom are dire. They have the outpost. When I say prepared, I mean there's a lot of buybacks ready. Yeah. But if you look at Betboom, they didn't use a single one. Whereas Na'Vi, they use their buybacks. And then you also look at Na'Vi, they use their BKBs, whereas Betboom, they don't really have BKBs. So overall, the fight overwhelmingly does favor the side of Betboom, and finally they've been able to break the game in their favor. They're 6k gold ahead, which is a lead that none of the teams were even close at a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, you can see the Pure. He does want that BKB to come out eventually. After getting all of his, tools, the BKB looks like it's going to be that cherry on top. In fact, no, he's changed his mind. He actually wants to go for the Hex.
Radiant's middle
so extra
tower
control,
is under
I suppose
attack.
it does make sense. If you can get the Hex onto the Storm Spirit or onto the Weaver, these two hypermobile heroes that want to be in and out of the fights, just being able to stop them from being able to disengage, it does mean that you can lock them down and potentially look for the kills. Set up for the Curse of Avernus as well from the Abaddon, and they're going to suffer if they do get Hex, as we see now. Might be another fight breaking out around the bottom part. Yeah, no, the drive back is actually going to show. He steals the form, and it looks like mellojul going to get himself away from this one. Then Sphere going to be broken. There's going to be the drive back here on to save. Is he going to be kept alive? He's not. He does go down. mellojul gets that kill. The wall comes out as well. TORONTOTOKYO, he might go down, but not before dropping that tombstone. Shigetsu, he's trying to take it down, but what can he do? He's doing it again. There's still the vortex coming out from the Morphin here. Do they have enough to get the kill on? And Pure, he has that Aegis, so is he going to be surviving through this fight? He's still going. He's still there, even without that Aegis. It will eventually pop. Chase down onto the Beastmaster. What can he do though? I mean, Shigetsu, he's got that BKB going. Can he get himself away from this one now with that Shikuchi out? It looks like they don't have the vision to get the lockdown, and they do pop an Aegis to take down both supports, but they lose that Beastmaster, and we'll see what Na'Vi can do on the back of that. And that wasn't a bad fight there for Na'Vi. That was pretty good, and if they can replicate that a couple more times, they could be right back into this game.
Yeah, but it was actually a pretty decent fight. The problem is, of course, you got the Aegis down, and Betboom, they didn't lose all that much in the bottom part of the map. They just tried to see, okay, let's see if we can fight in an unfavorable situation with the Aegis. But the thing is, you can't. If you're not there to protect your supports, if one of your supports go down to the storm, it's gonna be an issue. And that gem being bought by Na'Vi, given to mellojul, it's actually what won them the fight, because the Shadow Demon died only because the storm saw him through the Glimmer Cape. If he hadn't, we would have seen a completely different outcome.
Yeah. And Weaver is going to go back for the MKB as well. So yeah, he finished off that Guardian. That if he gets it off, well, the hexes have started to come out from the side of Betboom. GPK has his up already. We'll see if Pure still wants to go towards his, because he's building the gold up for that. But yeah, the MKB coming out from Shigetsu, when that does come through, that's going to be a massive power spike for the Weaver. And the Morphin has to be very careful about his positioning up against this Weaver with the Swarm, the minus armor coming through there, with the damage, the attack speed coming through from the Weaver as well. It's, the Weaver is standing his ground in most of these fights.
Pure is still not the main target. The main targets are the Shadow Demon and the Undying, and the Storm and the Weaver are gonna have to be very coordinated there. So Shigetsu, not only is that MKB is at the end of the fight gonna help him deal with the Morphin, right? But at the start of the fight is that burst damage that he needs, and considering he has so much attack speed, I mean the procs are gonna be coming over and over again, so that's gonna be a ton of damage. Yeah,
and we've seen it. Oh, there's gonna be the smoke coming out here from the side of Betboom, looking for the. Actually, who can they go onto this? I mean, Shigetsu is away from the rest of his team. Did he go for a big wraparound here? Maybe looking towards back behind that tier 2 tower. Shigetsu, though, there's no vision to see the Weaver. I don't believe there's not. So it looks like it's just going to be guesswork here coming out from the side of Betboom.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They won't be able to find him that easily. He's out, and Na'Vi are already in a smoke. And I like this. What Na'Vi have lacked in this game and why they're behind is because they were a little bit slower. But this was a very fast smoke. This is one that can catch Betboom off guard. The thing is, when you have one of those, it usually doesn't. But when you have 3, 4, 5 of moves like this, then 1 or 2 of them work out, and you're actually not behind any longer.
Oh, they get the kill onto Shigetsu's curry, but it only has that TP scroll. So Shigetsu gets off a little bit lucky though, didn't lose any big items. And you can see the Abaddon's even got the Basher coming out, so that's going to be even more lockdown in these fights. Wants to go straight into the Abyssal Blade, so it is still going to be that effectively, what you would see on a pause one Abaddon, and Nightfall just feels so comfortable building into these items, and really 2, 0, and 10 never really been pressured throughout this game.
He has a blink and a basher, so if he blinks and bashes you, and he's gonna have an abyssal very soon, he pops the manta illusions. The stacks of Curse of Avernus, they go from illusions as well, so effectively if you bash someone, you're gonna silence them 100% in less than a second with the illusions, and then you're gonna kill them. So anyone who doesn't have a BKB active is just gone, even on the core side.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do this. I mean, the illusions coming through from the Abaddon as well, just trying to pull these waves, and with the Radiance he can do this, keep these lanes, not even, skipping them, but keeping them pushed in, because the Beastmaster trying to do what he can. They take down that tier 2 tower in the bottom lane here as well with Beastmaster's aggression, and well, now they know the Beastmaster's away. Betboom How are they going to try and make something happen with this? It doesn't look like it. Just again, protecting up this Radiant Triangle. Looking to say, if you want to fight into this, it's narrow gaps and you've got to fight into us. And, you know, like you say, they want to take those compact fights. So it looks like Na'Vi just doing what they can to play away, you know, protect themselves and not taking a bad fight, not, you know, engaging on Betboom's terms.
But I'm not liking that Na'Vi are not more out on the map. Let's say, okay, not a lot of heroes are showing. That is good from Betboom. But you still have a Beastmaster, so your vision is going to be quite nice. And you need to be able to send not only Shigetsu, but maybe even mellojul somewhere on the map. And then you have TPs ready. If there's any problems next to your base, you come back. But this way, it's only going to be the Weaver getting solid farm. Maybe Storm inside of the base, but that's about it. Everyone else is going to stagnate.
Yeah, I mean, he's far away from this, is he? Because he's got a lot of gold. He's still going to be about 300 gold away, I'd say, here from this MKB.
Quick match. I heard the calculation, like like a calculator there, and immediately.
Yeah. If I didn't have headphones on, you'd see the smoke coming out of my ears as well. But yeah, no, he's going to have the gold for the MKB coming up pretty soon. And once that comes out here, is that Navi's time to go? Because, I mean, Roshan could be at, you know, 20 seconds minimum away here. Might be another 3 minutes, but it could be like a 20-second respawn. Is this when Navi use the Beastmaster vision to maybe try and scout onto Betboom and look for a pickoff?
It's where they have to. Roche time is where they have to do it. I'd much rather they be trying a little bit more on the side. The thing is, now 35 minutes into the game, you have to be careful, because if you could go for those solo plays, for those moves, one of them could cost you the game. And now I can understand their problems. The part of the game, yeah, he's a
He's just dead. There was no way he was getting away. Once Pure gets in with the waveform, takes that telekinesis for himself, there was no way he even, you know, stacking up and doing the damage with the hexes coming through as well. Rubik was just straight up dead.
He's gone. Well, as I mentioned, the time of the game where you can go for low risk plays is over. Every play 35 minutes in the game is a high risk play, because you could buy back or you could die. Oh, there's the Abyssal Blade reveal.
So you get the silence off here, but it looks like Shigetsu was able to get the Sakuchi off before he did get silenced, able to walk himself away. But yeah, no, I mean, they're even going to see the Hawk. The Hawk gets dealt with here now. Well, Navi, they need to smoke into the pit, even though the tier 3 tower on the bottom lane is being pressured slightly by the double catapult, but that will be taken care of by the tower. And you can see the jumping from the storm turret now. No Nightfall. He's going to be the one to claim it now as well. They do get the kill. They take down the storm turret. And can they go for more? Pure's going to get down low. He eats that cheese though, so he's going to get full life back now. And Malik's caught in the pit, no way out, and nobody looking to get out alive here on the side of Navi. The time lapse to drag back in. They have the damage, they have the stuns, they have the lockdown. They take down all 3 cores on the side of Navi, and he had to time lapse to try and keep himself alive, but everybody just waiting in the pit. And Betboom, they had that just great space in that great position, and he finally killed onto 4.
I think that they actually didn't have a chance with the buybacks. Betboom, if they would use them, I don't know if the Pure would have it if he died, but overall, the second that the Aegis got taken by Nightfall, it was game over. And to be honest, he played so well because there was an Aghanim Scepter pull in, but he saw the Roach dying. He popped it for the time to get out of the stun, pick up the Aegis, and at that point, the fight ended. At that point, it was certain that Navi had absolutely no chances to win that fight, and with that, not even the game.
Yeah, and without the Weaver for the next 30 seconds, this is going to be, in fact, it might just be Magus. I thought they might go for tier 4s, but it looks like they want to play it methodically here at Betboom, just making sure they take every advantage. And yeah, they're looking straight towards this tier 3 tower, this last standing Rax. And Navi, what can they do to try and defend this? Because Nightfall, again, has that Aegis. He's just going to be the one that sits in the front and just whacking down these buildings.
They can't do anything. The Abaddon also has the Aghanim's Blessing, so this guy just heals everyone.
Sure, clean it up, and yeah, I think that's going to be GG. The Storm's Break goes down. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a couple more kills before this game does finally end, but it's still being Megas. Right now, effectively, Malik comes in with his BKB. Last man's damage, Shigetsu's doing a lot of damage here now as well. Nightfall's going to be out of mana, but again, as that Aegis will pop, and you can see that Cure takes out the rest of the Brax. Do they have a... They don't have a... Wait, do they? I think Malik, he's going to go down next, yeah, and it's only going to be Shigetsu left alive. And 1 versus 4. The buyback comes through from the Beastmaster, so the army making it, you know, a point to make a stand here, Na'Vi. But eventually, it looks like Pure's going to be able to do the damage. GPK coming in now as well. BKB for Shigetsu. Maybe going to try and get the chase down onto GPK. So we go for the turnaround. Pure, what's he going to try and do? The Apothecary kill comes out. Now this is going to be the Hex. And yeah, with no BKB on the Weaver, the Weaver's just going to go down. And this should be game number 1. Throwing the way up Betboom.
And they have an Abaddon, which means that diving the fountain is easy. Yeah, look at Pure. He's actually surviving because Nightfall is healing him. He's not even the one taking damage with the Burrow time. But it's very nicely done by Betboom. Overall, though, I have to praise Na'Vi. They surprised me. They understood relatively well what their lineup needs to do. In the end, Betboom, they are just slightly.
It's cleaver time!
He has some really good counters in this game.
Whisper going to drag the remaining creeps back to the lane proper. Bit of damage on the Celery though. Has to fairy fire the double blink strike and Whisper with the first blood. Ooh, it starts off well.
Or are they Celery? Another blink strikes available.
Oh, you're right. Back in on top of the Rubik. Tricks of the trade and the final touch. There it is. Whisper with another kill, chaining away from Duraccio. And Whisper's the one with all the stacks on him, so Matthew will take a fair number of hits to kill him.
Yeah, he has
like Ursa can.
7 Furious Swipe charges.
God, Quinn down in the bottom rune spot. 3 seconds to go, and C-Smile deciding he wants to fight around this, forcing Tofu away. The Fortune's End is there, and in we go.
They took the rune away from Quinn, but in terms of first Exo, there's not going to be any damage dealt to a tower.
Whisper stuck behind this tier 1 top. Might be in a bit of trouble now. Yeah, getting ripped to shreds by the
Necessary to get Lasso going. If he's going to be farming the jungle, we'll put the next point in Firefly.
Attempting on Panda. Good damage from the Ench, and Tofu's Tiny secures the kill. Pakaz still level 5, trying to get the bashes onto Ace. C-Smile rotate. They'll look for this Enchantress kill in the tree. Yeah, Matthew lassoed up. That right at the Chrono, in the Firefly still, focusing the Tiny. And Quinn, full HP with Duracio's help. Will get on top of Pakaz with some Fury Swipes and the Overpower, but C-Smile tracking back to bully this Ursa. He doesn't have much left in the tank. Fortune's End flies out to try and...
Batrider is countered. He was supposed to be Chrono.
Yeah, straight on the edge. Pakaz needs a backup from DP and Timbersaw, but it's still a difficult target to bring down. The Avalanche looks good, but Ace still going to fall. Now Pakaz moves on the Tiny. Tofu in trouble. And Gaming Gladiator is going to cut their losses. Try and get Quinn out of danger. Cancel TPs down to bottom. And move away from here, but Whisper wants to keep on diving. You'll Scepter up, C-Smile catches. Whisper helped out by the Death Troll Pit, and they'll dive behind this tier 2 tower. Yeah, smoke breaks, Panda knows. Spot the Tiny in the trees. Plant him up. Catch him out. EG bring Mage Slayer is next from Ace. He's dived under his tier 1. Matthew spotted him. Timbersaw on top of the Ench, but the Nature's Attendant, tons of heal, and there's the Sproink, the Rainbow Impetus shot, launching out onto Matthew, nearly killing Ricky, but he gets off the tricks of the trade. While C-Smile in behind this tier 1. Diving Ace, the Chrono comes, Tofu and Ace both caught inside, and Whisper with a Chakra will finish it off yet another kill. Tofu down, and C-Smile is unstoppable. No Exo.
Smoke, no Chrono, no Exo.
We're going to play forward, sleep up the Batrider, but Matthew's the one to get blown up by Duraccio. Does have to use the Enrage to get behind his tower. Quinn wants back in though. C-Smile
saved. That's big.
The false promise. Affectus Void could get caught off through the control. Matthew going to start things off with a Sleeping Dart though. Straight onto Quinn and forcing his BKB early on. Half health for Batrider while C-Smile. Avalanche for now. Holding his BKB in the Yules. Now has to use it, but the Ursa's damage substantial against the DP, and EG are the ones who have to run. Pretty nice against all these spellcasters. trying to catch out Whisper top lane. Lasso is there, and the down from Duraccio trying to kill him off, but a Timber Chain and the arrival of C-Smile slows things down. Wanted to chase Duraccio, and Whisper getting some revenge, but Game of Gladiators, they are all here. Avalanche toss, Whisper about to die. The Bolt Promise is there, and Panda keeps him alive. A killing spree for him as they dive in. C-Smile falls, but Duraccio dead.
Oh, look at this damage from Enchantress.
Spikes them all to death.
Have another one.
Radiant scanning off to the right, that turns red as well, so everybody knows the direction the opponents are coming from. Ricky starts with a sleeping dart, the jump in from Picard, no chrono yet. Tofu trying the avalanche
so low.
Ricky being focused down as Duraccio and Quinn straight onto him. Tofu and Matthew trading lives, and Quinn just trying to chase up here, but C-Smile keeping them at bay while Duraccio trapped in between 3 of EG, down to half health. They've got the bit of save and a buying time from the Yule.
Avalanche.
A.K.A. looking to jump back in the Avalanche again, but there's a false promise from the Oracle. Aegis already claimed up as Duraccio blinking back to his side of the map. And the two-man chrono there, catching both supports. Quinn and Ace still on the outskirts though, doing an awful lot of damage here. And Picard is struggling to stick on a target. Celery with the Spirit Siphons trying to roleplay as Boxy, but can't quite get the job done. And now Ace trapped in place. Quinn and Duraccio on this high ground, not able to rejoin the fight. EG will come out victorious.
Finished on Whisper, so double chakram.
Poor Panda. False promise. Not going to help him out too much here.
Under attack.
Drag back into the flames of Quinn. EG looking to press into this enemy ancient spot where they do have high ground vision. Straight up chrono, catch Rubik and the edge. They need the damage onto Ace as quickly as possible, and Whisper will provide that. Blow up the Enchantress. She gets off a sprite. The next attendant's not going to heal her while Duraccio jumps on the Picards. DKB and full promise required to buy the time he needs. Time walks a little bit off, and now the Ursa kind of stuck here. Lift up, drag back, not saving you from Whisper's reinitiation. Very attentive EG, focusing the targets they need, and diving this tier 2 for the Rubik kill. The cherry on top.
Shard upgrade. Didn't even use the oh my god, he has the Force Staff and Ogre Shield Totem as well, with the shard plus time walk.
So much mobility.
Close the gap. They caught him.
Yeah, lassoed up, but the Urals make sure that the Ursa can't do the damage, and Picard saved by his team, allowed to chrono this Ursa. Now Ench arriving, and a stolen one. There's the Rubik coming in clutch. Everyone from EG stuck inside. Duraccio still dies. Timber Chain across, looking for Tofu now. Matthew trying to jump back in onto this Enchantress, but the lift to save. Celery keeps them at bay, allows Ace to keep doing damage while C-Smile and Whisper chasing this Enchantress. Get the pesky Fawn out of here. Catch a glimpse of the Oracle, find out where Panda's playing. Matthew back to the high ground as Quinn BKBs and moves up the ramp. Focusing for Cards, he's got time walk off to the right. The chrono looks like a good one. They've killed Panda off though. Oracle is down, so no safety net. Duraccio getting blown up though. Has to buy back chrono. Chrono. Two of them trapped inside from EG, but Duraccio is about to die here. Quinn has already fallen, has to buy back himself. Whisper moving in. Celery stealing the Timber Chain. C-Smile nearly dead. The Hurricane Pipe pushes him back, and Ace blows up the Death Prophet now. Huckars getting tossed around near the Roach Pit, controlled up by the Lip. Have they got the damage to finish him off? He time walks off to the left and Whisper is back in again. Chakram missing, the Force Staff out of Tofu, getting the distance he needs, and the stolen Chakram, Celery chucks it back at the Timbersaw. They saw Matthews taking this outpost. They've got the vision through the gem of Quinn, and plenty of damage to bring the Ricky down. The Yule Scepter on 20 HP, just delaying the inevitable, buying time. No way he survives here. Surely no way he survives here, right? He's got Blink Strike, but nothing to blink to. The end in the mid lane, Whisper getting gone on by Tofu and Duraccio. EG, they know that multiple members of Gaming Gladiators pretty distant away.
I'm always sad that you can't break Tiny. It would be so funny if it just shrinks. Double Abyssal, Lotus Orb.
That's it back. Tofu's in though with the Avalanche toss.
EG's alone here.
Is bringing 4 members to kill off Whisper. C-Smile gonna go for the BKB TP. Duraccio trying to close the gap to Tofu and Ace here.
Thinking about it.
Goes straight for the chrono. Exo as well. They really want to kill Ace here. Gaming Gladiators rallying around the Enchantress. She's got off the BKB and the attendants. Enchantress with some more sprites could actually play her way out of this one. Tofu going to survive. Dragged away from Picard. And now they've moved back in onto the Faceless Void. He's going to try and time walk it off thanks to the False Promise. But now Panda, the target of choice for Tofu and Celery, has the Fate's Edict on him, so protected against the magic damage, while Picard and Smile chasing Quinn now. The Batrider gets turned on. This fight is dragging out forever as another chrono from Pakaz. Straight onto the Tiny and Ursa. Edge slept up, so the damage is lacking. And EG, they've done it now. Holding their high ground, coming out to play into the southern jungle and finding the Enchantress. A Yule from Matthew finds a bonus target. Celery's Rubik trying to flicker away, but doesn't get any distance. So Whisper. The additional bonus from the Halberd on ranged heroes.
Enchantress getting very close to her level 25.
Blink initiation. Ursa gets lifted and forced out away. Ace gets the attendance out, points back, but Pakaz just keeps on chasing. Chronos up the Enchantress now. Looking to blow up Ace. There is buyback available, and of course, Ace in the hands of the Ursa still. DP caught inside that chrono along with Whisper, unable to keep giving chase. Trying to blink and timber chain across. Might be able to get a catch with the side device. What is that? Is that flamethrower stolen by Rubik? Gets up to the high ground, away we head. Lots of expenditure here from EG. Chrono, Exo, still wanting to find more, but look, Lasso, Batrider.
That's another one.
Up, goes for the double lasso on the Faceless Void as Celery annihilated by Matthew and the Timbersaw in the back line. Comes with a double damage rune as well, and he walks straight into the middle of them. Lincoln's popped. He does get Scythe. Ursa on him, the backup there from the Oracle. False Promise and a big chrono. Batrider caught up in it. Quinn being battered into the ground. Dead for 2 minutes. Ace might be found as well, but they're going to go for the back line. Rubik being destroyed by Pakaz's Faceless Void. Time walks back in, looks for Ace, reverses it, rewinds, backs away. As Tofu splits the fight, multiple directions. Pakaz and Whisper find Duratio under the smoke screen, can't do anything, caught up and killed.
They're constantly disarm both of the cores of Gaming Gladiators.
They can't
Cannot
do
deal
anything.
damage.
Duratio finally gets to open up onto a target and he slept. He's hexed. Control for days on end. There's no end in sight, just being blown up and controlled everywhere. Duratio gets tossed across to the Oracle, but Panda, even has to disarm his own, gets the baiting down and the damage is down. Whisper with a double kill. Well, Ace had
By Batrider. This can't be correct. Like that's one stick in a palm and then maybe like some Firefly damage, and EG's wanna close this one out. There are no buybacks available. This is game, Gary.
Yeah, looks like it. They'll try and glyph. Maybe Ace can sproik his way to a base defense. But it looks like EG have got this one in the bag now. A very close fought game one. Very tight battles. And it looked like Gaming Gladiators using their windows to perfection. But EG, with these chronospheres, the late game protection of the false promise out of Oracle, and the itemization, hexing, darting, halberding, so much annoyance that Edge can't do a damn thing. She spends.
The problem is, whatever they pick, Betboom is gonna adjust. So Navi needs to adjust their play rather than their draft. Because let's say now they would draft a draft like Betboom, and Betboom would have Navi's draft. And Betboom would be more aggressive. Betboom would be playing around side lanes. Navi would. I'm not sure if they would be able to force out fights around the mid lane, around clumped up areas as Betboom did. So in the end, it comes down to play. In my mind, it's better for them to play a aggressive lineup where they are trying to dictate the tempo than allow for Betboom to dictate the tempo, because then maybe you won't even get a chance to play the game.
Remaining.
Okay, and we'll see here, Betboom not going to have a chance to play that Shadow Demon again because it, Navi, they don't want to be playing up against it in this draft. But looking through here, Betboom again, they have a wealth of heroes to come through. So Nightfall last season, he was playing on the Dooms, he was playing the Dragon Knights, the Primal Beasts coming through. How do you, if you are Navi, I mean, do you have to kind of pick a lane that you're going to get aggressive on? Because Pure, if you go aggressive onto Nightfall, Pure has a great time. If you go aggressive onto Pure, Nightfall has a great time. It seems like they're not playing with offlaners at the minute. They're playing with effectively 2 carries here, with Nightfall being so effective in, this Betboom side.
And that was always the case with Nightfall, I guess. Even if he would play like a DP in the offlane, he would still feel like a carry. So, it just so happens that the games open up for him quite nicely. And sometimes you have you're playing against one guy and we cannot let him pop off. And Betboom, we already talked about it. We cannot let any of them pop off. So you can't try to beat them individually. You need to beat them team-wise. That's how you need to do it if you're Navi.
Okay, yeah, and looking at the draft, we've seen the Io and the Broodmother being banned out here from Betboom. Navi, they take away the Rubik and the Shadow Demon. They even pick up the Undying, so taking away both supports from that last game, making sure there was no Rubik to come through as well. So we might see, well, we'll have to see something different from Betboom coming into this second game here. It's going to be the Dragon Knight right off the bat. and following up with the Pugna.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I can't say I expected it, but this is just great. First of all, these two heroes do really well together, right? One of them is a frontliner, other one is a healer. Both of them push down towers. They lane well if it's a 4-3. It's so flexible because this could be a position 2 Pugna, it could be a position 4 Pugna, 3 Pugna, Dragonite, 2 or 3. It is just a great lineup overall. Pugna is also very fast. If it's a position 4, it actually deals well with the Undying because you have 330 movement speed and you're just running around. So I'm a big fan with the Betboom opening. I think there's so much potential for it in the current meta, and this could be an offlane Dragonite with a Meteor Hammer. So let's go.
Yeah, Dragonite probably one of the more acceptable heroes to build that Meteor Hammer on because the Dragon Tail stun your max level. You do have that complete opening. What did I see yesterday? I want to say I saw a position 5 Dragonite in Western Europe. Probably going to be looking for it
10 seconds
all day, but yeah, no, it's one of those heroes that you don't expect, but when it was played like that, it was fairly
5
effective.
seconds remaining.
The draw range is coming out from Navi, so immediately an answer back to the Dragon Knight in the lane. Obviously you're going to have the harass coming through from those frost arrows, but when you get your shard up as well, maybe if you get a Scotty up onto the draw range and you're going to try and fight back against the DK's Dragon's Blood, try and mess with that a little bit. You see the Storm Spirit being banned out, so we're not going to see it for the entirety of today. It is going to be taken away for this game, but the Beastmaster taken away as well. So Navi, how are you feeling about this draw ranger pickup?
I'm not feeling it because I would not put this Dragonite
Not
in
at
the
all?
offlane. Not at all, because Dragonite and the Timber are out counters. Why? Because they have bonus armor rather than base armor. The Drow piercing shot only goes through base armor, so the bonus armor always remains. So laning phase wise, you only do physical damage. Dragonite has a ton of armor, he's fine. Later on in the game, you do physical damage, he has a ton of armor that you do not ignore with what your hero does. So I'm kind of surprised that they went for it. Also, the Pugna Decrep is a problem for you because you're not going to be able to hit people. I'm very much surprised they went for it. Yes, Undying, if you send the Dragonite, let's say, into the offlane, he could be an annoyance to the Dragonite, but time will come where the Drow Ranger will have to abandon ship. So I have to say I'm surprised that Navi went for this one.
Okay, they ban out the Sand King as well up against mellojul. mellojul, one of those mid laners that is known for the Sand King in the mid, even if it doesn't fit the meta. It is one of those heroes that he's comfortable on. So, Betboom knowing this, just taking away the Storm Spirit, it's gone one of the stronger heroes as well. So Betboom is just like, well, the Storm Spirit's gone, we just take away one of his comfort picks. And what's left? I mean, I know mellojul is quite comfortable on the Bat Rider as well.
Yeah, he could go for something like that. That actually feels pretty solid. Batrider and an Ember Spirit. Those two are the heroes that come to mind. But Navi, they ban out the Ember themselves. Ember is usually a very good hero against the Pugna. Not talking laning wise, but throughout the game, the crap doesn't really save you, and you can use the Sleight of Fist to cancel out the life drain. So, but they ban it out themselves, which is okay. Their catch is really not that great, and out of all of the spirits, the Ember is the most annoying one for the job because he gets a very early BKB, and before he gets it, he doesn't have to commit, so you can't really threaten him with a gust.
Navi's turn to pick. Mars being banned out, Betboom. They go for the Mirana, so what's this going to be, the Toronto-Tokyo Mirana?
Or save Mirana, who knows? Could be GPK Pugna mid, because Mirana does lane well with the Dragonite, and even if it's not, you are pretty good at killing the Tombstone, and later on in the game, the Dragonite stun is a great setup for the arrow, so I think it's just an overall good pick for Betboom.
Yeah, and again, going back to last tour, this Mirana was getting more and more popular. It did drop off a little bit. I don't know how popular it was in the major. I obviously wasn't able to see every game, but coming through Tour 1, it was one of those heroes that Betboom did like to run, even if the other teams didn't like to run it themselves. Betboom were favorites in this Mirana, so yeah, I'm not surprised to see this coming through. Now, they go for the Pangolier.
Okay, the hero was slightly nerfed, but overall still solid. It is pretty good against the Pugna, pretty good against the Dragonite, does solid amount of both magical and physical damage, doesn't care much about the Pugna. He can get away, he can get in with the Rolling Thunder. It's actually looking pretty solid, no BKB piercing the stables. It's it's overall a good pick. And
5
with Rolling
seconds
Thunder, you're
remaining.
always good at defending the Drow.
Yeah, true. Just being able to get the disruption with the Rolling Thunder in on that front line and keep the heroes away from the Drow Ranger. Would you expect here
Radiant team
the Pango to be running? Let's see what map you actually want to be picking up. So the Scarith comes out. So yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be the Undying. The Scarith supports the Pangolier. Do you run this as an offlane hero or as a mid lane hero? Or do you just wait and see what Betboom pick up?
I would expect mellojul to be playing it. So I would say mid lane. But they pick up a
5
Skyrith
seconds
Mage
remaining.
into a Pugna, which is, if someone gets decrepified, use the Mystic Flare, you're gonna destroy him. But if you are low HP and you use the Mystic Flare, maxed out ward, let's say that it's a level 18 Skyrith Mage, which seems, okay, level 12, 550 mana times 2, you take more than 1,000 damage, like with a hero that doesn't have that much HP. I'm afraid for this guy. Yes, it can be a ton of damage, but then again, it just could be a hero that dies before he even uses his spells.
True. So looking for some protection, and they don't have anyone here. I suppose the Pangolier can get in close, but you're trying to deal with that Nether Ward from the Pugna. You know, if he's hiding in the trees, there's no real big vision giver, you know, like a Beastmaster that can, or a Rocket Flare that can come through from Clockwork, anything like that can spot where the Nether Ward gets hidden. So how do Na'Vi have to play around this now? Do you think there's a hero that they could draft in that might be able to give them a hand with that?
They're very good at area control, right? Of course, a Beastmaster would help, but it has been banned out. Something that I think Na'Vi needs something that pushes towers, right? So Lycan comes to mind as a possibility, or they might get something that has a stun and buys a Meteor Hammer, because that's what you want to do. You need towers to fall, you need area control, and that's how you approach it, because you need to see the enemies before they see you if you're Na'Vi.
Yeah, and Betboom going for the OD, so just going to be stacking up these Meteor Hammers, I think, in the second game. The Rana going to go for one now, OD going to go for one, Dragon Knight gets one. I mean, Pugna, why not? But no, yeah, so there is the options here, Betboom, depending on who they want to go for, in terms of, and I assume this is going to be the mid lane OD, so I would expect to see at least one either coming out from the OD or the Dragon Knight. You know, that is the tower push potential coming through as well. The great setup from the Imprisonment as well coming out from the OD maybe makes me lean towards the OD picking up the Meteor Hammer, because he can rotate around solo and look for those ganks on to Na'Vi when he does start to leave the lane.
We'll see if he even buys the Meteor Hammer, because usually ODs are used to, you're gonna pop you get 4 points in Astral, and you pop the Meteor Hammer when you're, you know, that line that says banished, when it's below H, and that's when you start charging it up, then you get it down. If you have 3 points in it, you Astral and you immediately use it. So you might need some time to get used to it. Of course, feeling is nice, but when you have something in the game that literally tells you click now, and it's gonna be pixel perfect, it's pretty great. So I don't know on which letter right now during the banished part you need to click the hammer, but overall it is a great pick because of the save as well, right? Because Na'Vi have this one hero, the Skyrith Mage, that uses the Mystic Flare, and you want someone to die during that time. If no one dies, it's a problem for Na'Vi already at the start of the fight. So that's where the OD comes in, and I really like the pick.
Yeah, and when he starts to get up the protection as well, where the Astral is going to be defensively. When you use it defensively, your team can still move. Is it 30% movement speed or something like that? But you're able to move yourself back, you know, out of danger, and set up to re-engage. So OD, even though he's a massively, you know, offensive hero in terms of what he wants to do in the fights, one clutch save can, you know, mean the difference between a hero just being caught out, being able to move back safely. And Na'Vi, well, it's actually been the Magnus Banner, the Bloodseeker being taken away as well. So Betboom looking for a carry. Is there anything you like that fits in here with Betboom that Pure might lean towards? You know, maybe going back for the Morphin against the Drow Ranger, or something like a Slark that's going to have some bounce potential here as well. What would you like to see for Betboom to go towards for this final pick?
It depends what Na'Vi are gonna pick now. I would like the Slark overall. Ursa also seems solid because you're gonna get the Basher BKB and you can be a problem for the Pango. But then again, you know, a hero like a Sniper, something that deals well with the Tombstone. You know what comes to mind? A PL. I would love to see a PL. Let's just see this. Okay, now when I see the Tidehunter, we're not gonna be seeing a PL. But Ursa, Morphling, I think are the are probably the ones that the Betboom are looking for.
Okay, well, they have a little bit of time to think about it, and the Tide Hunter coming through now as well. Again, another frontline hero. You've got the Disrupt, Betboom.
You may now
It's gonna be the
select your
Marcy.
heroes.
Cool. That's fun. That's really fun. I mean, Marcy, once she gets her items and levels, you jump on top of the Drow. I mean, these heroes are not gonna save you. Pango is gonna have to have that Basher, and this is just the thing that you want to have some burst. It's not an Ursa, but it's kind of the same thing, right? Even more damage output in a short period of time. So I like it, and also Tide likes to be all close and personal in the lane. If you get pulled back, dying as a Tide early on is a problem, and against the Marcy lane, it sometimes can happen if you're not careful.
Yeah, it could be a good setup here. You know, the Dispose into the Marana Arrow, the leaping as well with the Starstorm. The damage can add up pretty quickly, especially because I've seen a lot of the carry Marcies at the minute going for 1 point into Dispose, 1 point into the rebound, and then going for the 3 points into the sidekick to really stack up that early damage. And are you expecting Pure to go in for the Battle Fury BKB Basher? Is that the build-up that you expect from the Marcies?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna see. Maybe you get a blink before the Basher. It just depends. Or sometimes people get a Crystallis. But overall, yeah, that's the Battle Fury BKB, and then whatever he feels is very good for the game.
Okay, well, looking at these two teams, you know, you have the Marcy coming out again. Big, like you say, big burst here with that jump in potential. So Betboom, they have a lot of gap close with the Marana, with the the OD, with the Astral Imprisonment. We'll see how this one's going to go, guys. But before we jump into it, we're going to take a quick word over EGB.
Prepare for battle.
Сейчас поиграем. Сейчас поиграем.
This changes
Coming through, and as we get into it, as we get ourselves in now, Betboom again. I was talking about the gap close, the potential just being able to get on top of this Drow Ranger. How are you fancying Navi's chances?
Ooh, I'd say less than in the previous game. That's what I want to say. Yeah, I think they do have a shot, but I like their draft more in the previous game because there's a lot of little things that can be exploited by Betboom. We have good protection of the Drow. That is the case. But also, if she gets caught, you're in trouble. You won't have any damage. So all of those things come to mind as something that Betboom can exploit. And we know if these guys see a weakness, they're definitely gonna go for it.
Okay, and Pure, he's going to be using a little bit of regen to come through here. Obviously, he got jumped on there in the early part of the game, but overall, how do you expect the lane to go for this Marcy? Because he's going to be grouping up with, I assume it's going to be the Marana. So are you looking for the Tide to get in the Marcy's face, or does the Tide need to, because you're talking about it because Tide wants to be up close. How much of a risk is it going to be trying to get into the Marcy's face here in the lane?
It's always going to be a risk, but it depends on the lane control. Overall, Pure is going to be okay, right? But it comes down to TORONTOTOKYO. He bought 6 tangos because he knows he wants to get all of the hate from the Skywrath mage to himself, and then wait for like level 3, 4 when Pure gets a couple of points in sidekick, and then you use it. TORONTOTOKYO gets sidekick, Pure gets sidekick, and you do have decent attack speed on these two to actually apply the damage. So I think early stages of the laning phase are going to be passive and trading, and TORONTOTOKYO is probably going to try to get more of the damage going towards him.
Okay, well, we'll see on the top lane as well. Nightfall coming through. He's already taking some of these frost shots coming out from the Drow Ranger as he tries to get the last hits in. Malady, though, there is going to be the Nether Blast coming through from safe, so even if he can't come in close with the Dragon Knight, there is going to be ways to secure those range creeps here with a Nether Blast, a Breathed Fire once it comes out as well. I assume at level 2. Went for the Dragon Tail at level 1 here onto Nightfall, and maybe just to try and around the runes here, trying to contest onto those, get those stuns off, but we'll be able to get the deny here as well. You can see the odds coming through. Na'Vi from EGB, not too far off Betboom, but obviously Betboom, once again, the clear favorites coming into the second game.
Yeah, overall, the Dragon Knight, you start off with the Dragon Tail because it lasts for so long that you can sometimes get even 2 denies with it. On a side lane, it's a lot harder to make it happen, but it seems like Nightfall, he did want it more than, let's say, the Dragon's Blood, but you're gonna need that Dragon's Blood if you want to continue laning here.
Yeah, and yeah, he's going to be picking that up at level 2, it looks like. So save if he needs to. He can secure those range creeps with the blast. What else does he want to go towards? Level 2, so it is going to be the Prepify coming out just to mess with, I guess, just to mess with Shigetsu's last hit, and if he gets in range with it there. If the creeps aren't getting denied anyway, because it looks like Save, Nightfall having a good time with that. Bottom lane, Malik getting low on life here, and you can see that Mirana going for the build that, yeah, no, completely ignoring the arrow. This was the build that we've seen last tour as well, where you go for the points into the Starstorm, 1 point into the leap, 1 point into the arrow, and then maybe 3 into the Starstorm, just to really build up that first damage here from the Mirana.
And you want the leap here also just for the extra attack speed with the sidekick. That's also one of the main reasons that you want to make sure that there's you want to be in the enemy's face, so the arrow doesn't really make sense, especially in the safe lane. Off lane Miranas or position 4 Miranas are more likely to go for a sacred arrow. In the safe lane it's just not that useful.
So are you expecting then TORONTOTOKYO just to babysit Pure in this lane, or does he wait for Pure to hit level 6 and then look for the rotations into the mid, or is it just generally just, you know, defend your carry at all costs?
You're defending your carry here in this lane for sure. You would love to rotate because Astral is one of the great setups for an arrow, but you're probably going to get the arrow on level 4, and at that point already some rotations are happening. So overall you're going to play the laning phase for as long as needed with Pure.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, GPK in the mid lane here as well. He's taking a bit for us, you know, being able to pull the creeps back. But top lane, there is a bit of a war going on here. Malady coming up against Save, and Save just keeps dropping these blasts. But Nightfall, every time he comes forward, Shigetsu's just going to be coming out with the Frost Arrows. And Nightfall at level 3, let's see here if the Dragon Knight goes for the second point into the Dragon Blood and really needs that regen. Yeah, he needs that extra protection from the because Shigetsu, every time he's making him look like a pincushion with the amount of arrows that he's throwing into him.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it in terms of Dragon Blood. I think Nightfall is an aggressive player, and usually he won't be getting more than that.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on the skill build here from the Dragon Knight to see what he wants to build into. Bottom lane now, again, tied. He's going to get low. Does he go down? He does, and it's going to be Pure that picks it up. Mirana is going to go down in return. Daniel gets the kill.
He had sticks. Maybe he wanted to die. My only kind of idea there is he wanted to die, didn't want to use the sticks. But in my mind, it looked like he was baiting the Skyrit Mage to come closer, and they kill him as well. But very weird decision from TORONTOTOKYO not to pop the sticks.
Yeah, no, I get it. You know, he wants to get a quick, because the core is already dead. So like you said in the last game, if he died to a position 4, especially as, you know, the position 5 support, and you just get yourself a full reset without having to use any regen, it's not like the TP is too long in that now as well. The Dispose comes out. Daniel can get himself away from this one. There's going to be the silence, but the right click's coming through. Do they get the vision in time to get the kill onto the Scarlet? Scarlet's in the trees. There's going to be a leap in, one more right click, and it's going to be TORONTOTOKYO that picks it up. Really nice kill there once again in the safe lane here from Pure and TORONTOTOKYO.
Yeah, just a beautiful leap there, because he leaped right on top of him. You couldn't have known. He could have ran towards the bottom there, but he thought probably, okay, this guy wants to juke me, so let's just leap in, and he easily finds himself a kill.
Yeah, while that's going on, there's a lot of frost onto the Undying in the top lane, but you can see here, Pure TORONTOTOKYO just looking to run this lane. The Marcy at the top of the net worth. Malady will go down on the top lane. Save takes him down, but it looks like they might be able to get the fight. The double silence coming through here from Daniel, but can he carry on going on to Malik? Malik trying to get himself away. Shigetsu so close to going down to save, but with Nightfall not being there, Shigetsu was able to get the kill onto the Pugna.
He got a kill on the Undying, and he put the Drow Ranger in a wheelchair, so he's gonna be more than happy, especially with the Dragon Knight just farming next to his tower. Look at how he's getting close to him, and yeah, Drow now gets a healing salve, but that's a lot of gold and a lot of victory for this Pugna.
Yeah, and you can see that Shigetsu had to move himself away. Nightfall has that 1 point now into the Breathe Fire, and Shigetsu was maybe if there was, you know, an actual right click or so, was in range of going down there. So like you say, Shigetsu just has to back himself away from the farm. Mellojul going to take one of those nether blasts to the face. Save though does help GPK to secure the rune, and a haste stream comes out. But I guess this is just to take it away from the Pangolier, because GPK going right back into the lane to farm, not really taking advantage of that haste in any form.
Well, they're losing the lanes heavily here, Navi. Only the Drow lane is going well, and she's not going to be able to stay in this lane for long. At some point, you're going to have to move. So Navi, they're going to have to bring this Spango. It's just a no-brainer. He has to go towards the top lane, probably. and then the Meteor Hammer in the mid lane will come into place. It's gonna be tough for Na'Vi in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and Malik on the bottom lane again. There's going to be the gush here onto Pure, but Pure just stacking up the damage now. Does he want to go? The sidekick is already out here, so the right click damage of Malik. Malik is taking a whole lot of punishment coming through from the Marcy, and let's see. I mean, Marcy building into it. Looks like the broadsword goal to come out. Has he got anything flying out to him already? Or anything queued up? No, it is just going to be the broadsword here, but that extra damage to stack up, especially when you start to get the unleash out here in the quick succession, that damage, it's like when you get a PA, you know, building into the battle fury, you do go for the broadsword and the claymore first, just because it works, synergizes so well with your ultimate.
Yeah, he is not really using all that much mana. He has the infused raindrops. He's gonna have the mana regen somewhat there, and with the sticks, he's gonna be more than fine. And the tread switch, so he probably doesn't feel like he needs a perseverance here to work with.
No, and we see mid lane here, mellojul taking some price. He actually used the Rolling Thunder. GPK coming in with that Meteor Hammer, so he is going to start to slowly work down this mid lane tower here. With the stack being contested as well, save comes in, shigetsu's going to get really down low. The TP in from the Skywrath. Can he do anything here though? It's Nightfall again. Can he just try and back himself away though? Malady's going to dive in. Can he get the damage onto the Dragonite? Dragonite trying to get himself away from this with more right clicks with the Gratify. It stops those right clicks coming through from the Drow Ranger, and they do get the kill onto the Dragonite, but Malik will fall in the bottom lane and save. He turns it around, he gets the kill, and he takes down the Drow Ranger, and it's just going to be an absolute great trade here for Betboom. Even if save goes down, you've delayed the Drow Ranger from getting the next, you know, what, 30 seconds worth of farm, just putting Pure on a little bit of a fast track here in his lane, and he even gets the kill onto the tide, so doing really well, and yeah, on track for that claymore, not too far away.
I was surprised the Dragonite didn't TP back to the base when he got decrepified. I think he could have done it, but Nightfall probably thought, okay, if I try to TP and die, it's going to be pretty bad, so he just goes with something that he feels like it's going to be good enough. But the big thing in this game is that Betboom have gotten the mid lane tower down. The Pango is being destroyed. He's using the defensive Rolling Thunder just to survive. It is a complete disaster for mellojul.
Yeah, on this one occasion, on this, you know, particular instance, I don't mind the Meteor Hammer because it was the kit, you know, it's in the OD's kit anyway. So, yeah, this game, I'll allow it.
Okay, Rob, thank you. I think GPK is going to be very happy that you allowed him to buy Meteor Hammer, and it's going well for him. He only has 2 points in Astral, and I guess now it's enough. 2 points in Astral, Meteor Hammer, and it connects.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a chase down. The silence comes out here, but TORONTOTOKYO, the arrow is being connected, so as soon as that silence comes off, there's the actual imprisonment. GPK, he drops the silence into the cliffs, gets the kill onto the Pango. That was just, it was a great bait, mate. Rates it 8 out of 8.
Yeah, he just comes next to the cliff, so he knows if the Rolling Thunder is used, he's gonna be getting down the cliff and everything is fine. If it's not used, well, yeah, we saw it on our screen, then you get the kill. So mellojul, we talked about his Pango and how good he is on it. Well, Betboom making it look easy to deal with him.
Yeah, now Pure, they're able to stack up onto Malik now as well. Malik was that dispose, the unleash comes out, dispose back, and they're just going to give another kill over to Pure. The extra damage again, going for that Battle Fury with the broadsword, with the claymore, stacking up with that unleash, and now he's going to be able to farm, maybe even to look to solo pressure this tier 1 tower as well. Oh, okay, just back himself up and help on the creeps in the jungle.
Na'Vi need to bring heroes and kill GPK. If he continues to play in this area with TORONTOTOKYO constantly behind him, it's gonna be a disaster. 2 heroes, we saw it, it's not enough. Maybe with a level 6 on the Skywrath Mage, it might be, but you need to bring more heroes there. This OD has to die. If he stays here for another 2-3 minutes, the gold lead might become insurmountable.
Yeah, and this is the thing, though. There's going to be the Moonlight Shadow coming out now as well. Nightfall. They've got the drain onto the Pugna, so save. Their entire kit is looking to come online here. They get the ward down. Maybe not. No, it's not arranged, so they're not going to get the D ward, but that ward will be ticking out momentarily. And you can see that mellojul and Danial, they're going to try and smoke up and look for something, but GP just continues to put this mid lane pressure on, and he's already started to put some damage onto that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Look at that. It's about a third of its health, or isn't health down here. TORONTOTOKYO going to be able to get the leap away from mellojul, and at least he should be able to get the D ward. Yeah, the D ward comes in.
The Betboom, they scanned that smoke. That was the reveal of the Mystic Flare, and Na'Vi don't even get that. It's just I thought it was gonna be tough from like minute 6 to minute 10, but it turned out even worse, and now it's gonna be continuing to go that way. I'm looking at them, and this Pango really needs to make plays. Skyrit Mage also, but you don't have that classic stun hero that's gonna enable the Skyrit Mage. It's just so tough to play Dota right now if you're Na'Vi.
Yeah, and you can see the battle lines being drawn on the side of Betboom. TORONTOTOKYO, he wants to make another move towards Malik. He wants to get, maybe another kill onto Pure. While that's going on, the Dragon forms out for Nightfall on the top lane, looking to put the pressure onto this tier 1 tower. See what they're going to be able to do. Did they take it down? Because there's fortification available here on side of Na'Vi. If they do want to protect this tower here for the Drow Ranger for a little bit, but you've got the 2 heroes in, in the map outside of the OD that can take towers fairly quickly. The Dragon form as well as that. Now the blast coming out from Save, and this tower, well, after the pause, should fall.
I don't think you use the glyph right now, because during these 5 minutes downtime, and it's not going to refresh right now because the mid lane tower already fell. During these 5 minutes downtime of the glyph, with the next dragon form, they could apply some damage to your tier 2. You cannot allow yourself to have to always TP to the top lane without at least wasting 30 seconds of Betboom by killing their creep wave. So yeah, I don't think you use the glyph here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
No. And yeah, it will go down. Nightfall being able to pick that one. What's he going for in terms of fighting towards that Blink Dagger after the break? So yeah, there's going to be that gap close, the Initiate to come out to set up for the rest of the Betboom to follow up. Wasn't really expecting anything else, seeing as the Meteor Hammer does come for the OD. So the Blink Dagger on Nightfall makes complete sense. But while this is happening though, you can see that Na'Vi shifting 4 heroes towards this bottom lane, wanted to take this tier 1 tower and kind of even things up. But the way it's going here, you see that Marcy, I think that might be the full, it is the Perseverance coming out. That's the Battle Fury here. Pure 12, nearly 13 minutes in here for Pure. Has that Battle Fury as well as the power treads.
And look at TORONTOTOKYO in his positioning. He knew that when they come to the towards that mid tower, that there bottom tower, that there is a chance for them to be transitioning into the mid lane or maybe trying to kill the Marcy. And he wants to make sure that this Battle Fury does get used quite nicely here farming the jungle. So he's putting himself up there. He immediately plants down a ward. So you did lose a tower, but you're still controlling the area that you want to control with the Marcy. Betboom are just playing really, really nice and clean Dota right now. They're not being pressured, to be fair, but they're doing everything right inside of Betboom.
Yeah, and we can see the GPK looking for that extra farm, going straight towards his BKB. So he wants to be able to get himself in. You'll be unstoppable when he's channeling that Meteor Hammer and taking buildings. And again, he's put some pressure onto that tier 2 tower in the mid lane already. At what point do you think here Betboom are going to be looking to group up? I mean, the Moonlight Shadow's coming out. They might be looking to group up, get an objective out of on here. And Nightfall, does he have that Blink Dagger available? He does. So if he finds the vision, he might be able to get a quick kill onto one of Navi's heroes here around this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, nice read from Navi. They're gonna know that something is up with the side lanes not being touched by Betboom, who have been very much active on those getting farm. They do dodge the smoke, and now they can go for a smoke themselves. This is a really nice move from Navi, just a little bit too slow.
Radiant are scanning.
Smoke coming out from Navi. Let's see what they can do with this. I mean,
Blink on Tide.
Yeah, that could be a really good opening, seeing as the BKBs aren't out just yet. GPK, I think, is the closest. Pure as well going towards his. Is that the Ogreax? It is. Ogreax coming in for Pure. But let's see what they're going to do. I mean, Smoke, okay, they don't really get anything from this.
Oh, you have this time until their BKBs. Once BKBs come out, Navi can just type GG. That's how their lineup works, because the only one that's going to be doing damage is the Drow Ranger, and we already talked about the ineffectiveness, let's say, against the Dragon Knight in particular. So I really want them to put the foot on the gas right now, or this game could get out of control quickly.
Yeah, and we'll see here. I mean, again, we're going to be in the pause. The go when ready is called, so Navi, they are ready to get themselves back into it. And we've not really spoke about a whole lot about the Pangolin. The Pangolin are going to be going towards the Diffusal Blade here. But item-wise or net worth-wise, look at how far he is behind GPK in terms of mid-lane gold. What's that? Nearly 2.5k behind the OD, and the OD's just having a great time, not really being pressured in. In fact, all the pressure in the mid lane seems to come from Betboom's side. Oh, hurry, either. We may have lost Tori. But yeah, looking through here, Nightfall. I mean, Pure, again, he's just getting the free farm. He's finding that time, he's finding the space. With the 4 points into the sidekick as well with his Battle Fury, he's just going to be cleaning up camps incredibly quickly. He has the broom handle as well for the extra attack range. You know, a little bit of extra damage to the armor is going to be really nice for him there, though. So let's see what they can do here, because Na'Vi, they are pressured into this mid lane onto the tower, and fortification is going to be used. So our Betboom going to try and defend this.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See what they want to do.
This changes nothing.
Radiant's middle
The T1 tower is going to go down for free.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As mellojul up on the top lane, save,
Dire's bottom
backing
tower
himself
is
away
under
from this,
attack.
hiding himself in the tree. He's going to go for the TP away, and we'll see how they can do. I mean, the bottom lane is pushing out, so you know, Nightfall and TORONTOTOKYO, they have this time, they have the space. They're not being contested into this, and they're going to be able to get this out. I mean, the catapult's going to be able to get the tower. TORONTOTOKYO, just in case they need it. Yeah, the breathe fire comes out just to help push in. Fortification will be used, but this catapult should still be there when the fortification goes down, so it buys a bit of time for Na'Vi to move themselves over. But this tier 1 tower will still go down here. Yeah, Nightfall even coming in with Dragon Form just to make sure he gets the tower, make sure it does go down. And it looks like the rotation over from the Drow Ranger from the Undying, it's just so the Undying gets the protection for the Drow Ranger in case there's any funny business from the side of Betboom.
Take us.
It's tied. How's he looking? Well, there is going to be the Moonlight Shadow coming through here. So Betboom, did they get the jump in? Did they get the stun off? Because tied, Malik's already moving himself away. Going towards... Is that a Heaven's Harvard? It is. It's Heaven's Harvard. So he wants the Soul Ring, but he does want that Heaven's Harvard as well. Try and slow down and stop the Marcy. Marcy, Pure, only the recipe away from the BKB. This is going to be massive when he gets it up. I think that's the timing as well, where once the BKBs are up from the side of Betboom, that they are going to start to look towards these fights. GPK, not too far away from his now as well, only about 300 gold. So we'll see if Na'Vi, if this window, they have the ward down. Did they actually see TORONTOTOKYO now as well? TORONTOTOKYO, he's going to see 3 kills, he's going to be silenced up as well. They have the damage, they're going to be able to get the kill onto the Mirana. Mirana going to go down, no contest there. GPK just himself, he doesn't have a TP.
Radiant are scanning.
Actually, is it coming through? It isn't. So it's going to be Mirana's courage just moving around the back, and GPK has to get himself through these trees to get himself away from the 4 or 5 heroes from Na'Vi grouping up. We're looking towards that Roche pit, but maybe not committing here as the Drow Ranger just goes right back towards farming that mid lane. While this is going on, saving Nightfall, just grouping up, looking to get the push down, put some pressure onto the tier 2s. GPK, again with the Meteor Hammer, he's about 75 gold away from having the full BKB. Pure, not that far behind either. A little bit further, but only about 600 gold. And with this Battle Fury, you know, with the Unleash coming through there, he's using it to farm. Won't be too far away from this BKB at all. It will be a free Roche cell, going the way of Shigetsu with this double damage rune here and now as well. No contest from Betboom onto this because they do want these BKB timings. Shigetsu just TPs up to the top lane, trying to defend this tier 2. It takes a little bit of pressure. Nightfall with the blink. Again, Aegis on the Drow Ranger. Double damage rune here as well, so I don't think save. I don't think Nightfall commit onto it. Even with Pure being fairly close. Yeah, you can see the odds coming out here from EGB. Close to 1. Close to clean here for Betboom. Meanwhile, Na'Vi, nearly 6-1 odds coming out from EGB. So Betboom, they are, even though there's not a lot in it, 20 minutes into this game, you're 7-5 and a 5k net worth lead here for Betboom. There's not a great deal of confidence, I want to say, in Na'Vi. Maybe they do pull it back. Stranger things have happened here, but at the minute, Betboom, they're just finding all of their items and not really being pressured by the side of Na'Vi. Yeah, so that's Pure's BKB now as well. I wonder if they wait for the Dragon Knights, because Dragon Knight... but then you kind of fall into that kind of, you know, waiting for the next item and waiting for the next item and waiting for the next item. You know, while you wait for the Dragon Knight's BKB, why aren't you waiting for like the Aghanims or the Blink Dagger for OD? So they do make the choice now as well. They want to make a rotation. They want to make something happen. They're buying the space for Pure on this top lane. As the smoke comes through, they're going to be able to get themselves in. The blink comes out. Scarrath Mage, he's going to be the one locked down. Mellojul with the Rolling Thunder, but GPK, he's holding on to that BKB. Do they want to try and follow up? They might even be able to go into the Drow. Whereas that Blink Nightfall is going to be revealed here. Blink Dagger up in a couple of seconds. To get the Dragon Tail stun onto the Undying. Yeah. Dazzle Imprisonment comes out. The Meteor Hammer drops, and so should Malady, really. But Drow Ranger at least will be able to get that TP away. As the mech picked up for TORONTOTOKYO. So is it going to be the Greaves? It looks like it is going to be the Greaves here for the Mirana. No, it has those regen boots. So maybe just a clean mech. Later on you could do, as the gem goes back to the Mirana here now as well.
I'll take that.
Oh, Boots of Burn wouldn't be too bad here now as well. Is that something that the Mirana might go towards? I would really like to see them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, bottom tier 2 going to be taking some harass. Shigetsu looking for the farm. Still has that Aegis for another 2 minutes or so. Going into the Hurricane Pike. Well, has the Hurricane Pike. Grouping up with the rest of the team, so they are playing to protect around the Drow Ranger. Just looking to take over areas to make it more comfortable for Drow to farm up in. It's going to be the Lincoln, so the Drow Ranger, there's going to be a really nice round coming through, though. GPK can get himself out of life. He pops that BKB, trying to walk himself out of this, but the right clicks from that from Shigetsu. No, he gets himself up onto the high ground. Might be the turn and chase, yeah. Not this Aegis. Tombstone has been dropped on TORONTOTOKYO, trying to leave himself away from this one. Nightfall. Can he get the jump onto Shigetsu? The BKB from Pure, the drain. Pure will be able to get the kill, even taking down this Tombstone now as well. With the Unleash, they might even be able to go for more. The TP, did he stop it? No, they don't. Nightfall didn't have the mana. Or the stick was on cooldown, so he didn't have the mana for the Dragon Tail, and it was just, they saw him, but they knew there was no way they could stop him to get that TP out. So at least mellojul will be able to get out alive, but they do get the kill onto the Drow Ranger. A really nice pick of the BKBs were used. Double damage rune as well. Pure probably goes to pick that one up.
Radiant are scanning.
Double damage.
mellojul, how's he looking? I mean, he's got that diffusal blade up, but the BKBs are starting to come through now as well, so Betboom aren't really going to be scared about turning and fighting here. Marcy wants to go towards the... Oh, Shigetsu. What's he got? Yeah, it is going to be the Lincolns first, Shigetsu, so it's not even going to be the BKB for him, but yeah, Marcy nullified, queued up as well. And Malik, this Ravage is down for the next minute, just over a minute here, and Betboom, they know that timing. They want to try and make something happen with it. To the 3-man smoke in. Dragon form comes out. What are they looking for? GPK as well here. Double damage rune will be wearing off. GPK wants to go towards that Hex. Pure just moving through the die triangle, just uncontested. And they have the wards down. You look at the protection on the map. Look at it. They have the cliff ward just below where the tier 3 towers come out from the dive base. And then the one just in the river as well. See any wraparounds coming through here. That Channel going to wall himself wide open, and he gets stunned up onto the Drow. The Drow Ranger Hammer gets dropped. The BKB's come out now. Malik can get himself away from this one. Trying to walk himself out. The save's going to be there now as well. The right click damage coming through. GPK picks that one up, and even Pure on the back lines gets the kill onto Malik, onto Malik's courier. Daniel goes down. This tier 2 tower probably won't be lasting for very much longer. And you can see that even Pure TPing up, trying to get the most out of this Unleash. Keeping himself up to the top lane, you know, stopping the push in from the Pangolier onto that tier 1 tower.
Middle tower has fallen.
Pangolier wants to go towards the Basher. mellojul though, it's going to be a ways away. It's going to be a while, this Basher, before it comes out for the Pango. Meanwhile, OD, yeah, wants to go towards the Hex, and again, if you can break the Lincolns with it on this coming out on the Drow Ranger, or even with the Astral Imprisonment, you know, anything like that, maybe even the Drain coming out from the Pugna, and you follow up with no BKB on the Drow Ranger, just going to be susceptible to the Astrals, to the Hexes, the follow-ups with the Meteor Hammers. And yeah, OD, he has the blink already, so a second gap close to come through, a second initiation tool. Ravage is up though. If he can find a jump here, Nightfall, he's going to be able to get the jump in. They take down the Undying, but the Rolling Thunder comes through. And the Dragon Knight, no, he's pushing the low ground. He gets this down. Nightfall, mellojul comes down to that low ground there as well with a shield crash.
Kalma lang ha, kalma.
Just going to use the rest of the Rolling Thunder to get himself away. The blink, pure. He couldn't get the dispose off onto Malik, and Malik was able to get that blink away. Has the Heaven's Halberd now as well completed. The Ghost comes out onto the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight can get himself away. Ghost and Gush. Mystic Flare, but there's going to be the 4-staff now away, and no. Pure. He tried to get a jump onto Shigetsu, but they're going to have to settle for Danial. But again, Marcy has the BKB going towards a nullifier. This is going to get harder and harder for Shigetsu, who's just stalled out in terms of net worth. Here you look at it, he's going to be about 4k behind the Drow Ranger altogether. They get the stun to mellojul, and he follows the arrow connects now as well. The damage, the right clicks, and Nightfall. They take down mellojul, no questions asked from the side of Na'Vi about that pickoff. No, GPK, Pure though, they're going to be able to make this dive. They might be able to get the kill onto Malady once again. Save with the drain onto the Drow Ranger. Look at how quickly it's just ripping through his life. The silence comes out. Shigetsu gets out alive. Pure though, maybe looking for that next jump in. With the blink dagger. No, okay. Back himself away. You can go back to Warden if you want to, and Pure. In this ancient stack, not going to be too far away now. Sacred Relic about 150 gold away, and then into the full nullifier.
Relax lang.
Gold-wise, completion, about 1,000 gold here for the Marcy before it is up. Nightfall going to be healed back up. Roche, at least 7 seconds away. Let's see the big man. How long before he's back in his pit? The BKBs are back up in the Marcy now as well, as the Dragon Knight and the OD, so they can make something happen here. TORONTOTOKYO, Malady, he's going to be the one walking in. Is he going to be able to get himself anything from this? It looks like Moonlight Shadow. Did he look for the re-engage here? Marcy on the back line, so they want to go for the jump. Malik, he's got that Ravage, but they know the touch, and there's going to be the blink in now as well. The Ghost comes out, drop that BKB and Nightfall. They get the drain, there's going to be the Ravage, but Nightfall, he just carries on going, and Malady will go down. Backline stunned on to save, but it looks like Pure, he wants to jump in. Let's get on to Daniel. She gets to only just getting himself away from this one. GPK, he finds him behind the trees to get the stun onto the Tidehunter. Tidehunter gonna get himself away. Malik, arrow, it will connect. He walks himself, turns right back into it. The bind comes out. Pure setting up the hammer. And they're even going to be able to get the supposed to keep Malik in it. And Malik will go down here. 4 heroes dead. Betboom absolutely cleaning it up. Roche will be a minute and 20. Oh, mellojul. Is it going to be a full team wipe here? He has to get himself away with a swashbuckle.
Middle tower is under attack.
mellojul. He doesn't even get himself up to the high ground. Anything to stop this though. Save. Nothing to disrupt the TP.
Oh, kalma lang ha, kalma. Relax lang.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, kalma lang ha, kalma.
So,
relax lang. Relax lang.
Betboom taking a really good fight here. You see the swing coming through. The damage done was just, you know, stacking up from GPK as well as Pure. Just finding these kills. They're making it look easier at the minute, Betboom. Betboom 20 and 5. Or 22-5 in terms of kills. 28 minutes in. And Roshan 32 seconds away. By the time the BKBs are back up, you have 12 seconds here for Marcy. 10 seconds for GPK. Nightfall 5 seconds away. And the Drow Ranger still doesn't have that Lincoln Sphere. So it just keeps getting jumped off, keeps getting locked down, and keeps getting picked off. You're going to go about being picked off. They should be able to get the kill in GPK. Yeah, ops his BKB, but they take down Malady. And now Pure with the TP in, they get the vision with the ward, and but jump Pure. Dispose comes out, gets himself right on top of the Scarith. Scarith, one more right click, in fact Nightfall does get with the breathe fire. They're looking for the Drow Ranger again. Roshan is back up. So the big man in his pit, what can he do here? 2 heroes dead on the side of Na'Vi. They're even going to be able to claim this outpost. And it looks like they should be able to take this one, yeah. If Nightfall dips his head into the pit. God, he's not even that far away from his Ags as well. Only about 600, 700 gold from completing here on the Dragon Knight Ags. Save. And Malik, he's looking for farm again. The Heaven's Halberd, but I don't know it's been that effective. I don't even know if he's been able to get it off. Or if he's just been controlling these fights with the BKBs coming out early there as well. So it's a good idea in theory, but the Tidehunter just not being able to get the full potential of this Heaven's Halberd. Shigetsu just continuing to look for the Lincolns, and he's already kind of committed. Yeah, he's got the recipe, got the ultimate orb. He's about 15 gold away from finding it, so that's gonna be nice for the next fight, but it's whether it's gonna be enough, because he'd have so many things that break it on the side of Betboom. Nightfall does show this with the Rolling Thunder coming in now as well, but he just gives, with the multi-shot coming through from the Drow Ranger, it just sets up, it gives him the time, and that's when Betboom comes out, the Pure gets the kill to Shigetsu now as well, so Malady is going to be the next one to fall, surely, as the dive comes through. Daniel gets taken down, the hammer gets dropped, and he gets the kill, even take down Malik, and once again, mellojul, the only one left alive. It's just going to be GG's being called. Betboom take this in 30 minutes. Absolutely running right here, 26-5. Yeah, Navi no way back into it, and you can see because it took so long for the Drow Ranger looking for the Lincoln Sphere, he didn't get any great item timing